what I was hoping for.
I think I think that would be the best solution for them, is to acknowledge the urgency and then say we're committed to this. Now, to be fair, they have done that, right? Like last year, they're like, hey, there's a problem, we're going to make adjustments. And then towards the end of last year, they're like, we're working towards that. But I think my biggest problem with today's stream and the last few streams has been, I feel like they're leaning a lot on the trust me bro energy, but I feel like they don't have any trust me bro left in them. Like none of us are trusting them. So they need to like show meat and potatoes of like, here's the new mode, here's gameplay of it, here's why we think this is going to solve the problem.
They had nothing to show. They had nothing to show.
Exactly.
That there's no. I said before this that this could be good, but most likely bad, because if you don't have something to bring to the table and show, it just looks bad. Like, you know what I mean? It looks bad.
I don't know about Discord overlay.
No roadmap, no gameplay, no video footage. Like, you got nothing to show me. You're just talking. And then the first few things they talk about are reworking old things in the game, which I am completely anti reworking everything old in the game. I'm so tired of that shit.
You're not excited for Yes's
so
fourth
old.
rework?
It's just so old.
And the thing that the thing that I don't understand is they want to raise up the synchronization value of every descendant
this is
to match the Serena level, etc. Once again, doing the same bullshit that we get for 1 year. That's push the content apparently, according to what they say, like forward, like we get report content because of this issue, and then at the end we come like 1 year after with the same problem. The balance is still like even like if it's a PvE game, etc. Like the balance isn't like a big issue, but like the problem is like there is nothing where to use this power creep.
True.
Yeah.
More
true.
I mean, it's just
like.
Go ahead.
Sorry, like the synchronization value. If they most of the time they prove me like they seems to be wrong on a lot of things with the calculation and stuff, and it seems like they don't understand like there is some descendant with the synchronization value way up, like as they said, near to the cap.
What is
like,
the cap?
This is gonna be crazy. 1.2. I think at the moment it was Glay. Now it's kill at 1.2 something.
1.2 something. Okay, right.
Poor Keelan. The descendant they had to buff 12 times before they finally got it.
And the fact that they still didn't buff him after they gave him new red mods. Cinema.
So my thought process on this is like, I think a lot of the community is hard focused on balance because they're already starving, right? And I think the devs are reacting to, I feel like they don't have enough foresight to plan for things outside of what's happening right now. But the reason people are so hyper fixated on balance, aside from people are always going to talk about balance, is because there isn't enough to do, right? Like if they had more game modes, more activities, more things to look at, more new descendants, more modules, if there was just more, balance would be a part of the conversation, not something to fixate on because they're bored.
Balance is the content. It's just constantly the content.
Because I still think that they're trying to go with the route of we can balance characters through content, not realizing that characters are in like an indifference. Especially because if you will look at like some descendants in Breach versus others, like it's very clear that some are better than others. But if they just spend all of their time reworking and retuning any numbers, they're never going to be able to create something properly. I was going to say, I stream my stream, have a look at the Ancestor mod sheet that I'm streaming. With this, even if you check just all the crit rates and crit damages of all the descendants and what they can do, it becomes really fucking clear that they're just going to be an infinite paradox of buffing descendants or just turning their Ancestor mod values to ridiculous values because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I mean, everybody's really. I think all of the descendants are really good right now, and I don't even understand the problem.
100% they are. I agree with you. Literally every descendant.
The mod where to use those.
I can pick up almost every descendant in the game and go run everything at a very highly efficient level. Like,
go run Jab and Maiden Challenge.
I don't know where they get the. Well, let's not talk about that, but you could still take Jaber though and go do Breach, you know what I mean, or whatever,
anything,
and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where they get the source of that, like, because they said it last stream and it really annoyed me. they literally said that they're still working on that skill descendants just are lacking compared to gun builds. And I'm just thinking like, wait, what? You can look at the leaderboard right now, and it's like all skill builds are top of the leaderboard. So like, I don't know where they get this. I don't know who their source is. I have no idea.
Someone internally, probably. I think it feels like a little bit just communication breakdown between them. But I think one of the biggest like you have to look at this from different levels too, right? Because like there's the current game, and then there's what the game could be, and also what they need to do as a product. And I think one thing that they're missing a lot on is some of the stuff they're putting their time into now is not something that brings new players in or old players back, right? So like if you rework a weapon that exists, if I quit 6 months ago, I'm not going to come back because KGL got reworked.
Bro,
I'm not going to come back
this every day.
Right, like you need a new map, you need a new character, you need new game modes, sexy things that'll be like people like, oh, I'm gonna go check that out, right? Not I reworked Keelan 11 times and now he's kind of good.
But there is also something like the origin of everything that I have a problem with is like they had some content creator that was like constantly on the game, like in a period of the game, yeah, that are gone right now to other games and like multiple variety gaming, etc. They didn't use any of them as a like an efficient way to take feedback before the content release. And then I think those things would like help to not release like broken stuff.
Yeah. Their quality assurance
And they
testing
are
is
not-
like nothing.
Yeah,
They are doing nothing whatsoever with their content creator. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
remember when they couldn't let Inez shoot through walls, and then a year later they let Glay shoot through walls and didn't pick it up on it.
Yeah. Like in a phase of I don't know who in their studio are like doing the test and everything before like the pre-release, like before everything is checked and like okay, like we ship the update. But like sometimes I'm looking at things and I'm like, there is no way someone tests this.
Yeah.
It usually
There is
only
no way
takes,
someone
like a
tested
good
this.
hour with something to realize like what I don't even know. I don't know how this made it into the game. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
100%.
It doesn't even take long.
Then their baseline was
Which
fucked
makes-
too.
Well, I remember they said that after the Glay feedback, people said, "Don't worry, we extensively tested it." And I feel like if they were reading the room, they wouldn't want to say something like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Not they are not testing the things. They released like a trigger mod. Like
Bloody
the last
deployment
trigger,
is so broken.
Bloody deployment. Okay, they
Yeah.
released this. Now, even certain descendants that are like favorable, that have the good elemental against certain boss, will be even faster with this.
Yeah.
Like put a fire boss with Viesa, and like I take this example because I know Viesa will be the way. Like take any fire boss, put Viesa with her skill, with the chase skill, and put with bloody deployment. There is no way with the skill she will like outtake the bloody deployment.
Yeah, bloody deployment
There
sword
is no
proc
way.
is insane. It procs so much and then it'll just one shot. Like even with the Viesa right now, Ice Maiden, right? You'd think Viesa is like not a good option for Ice Maiden. And I swear, Seven, how fast did you kill Ice Maiden with Viesa? 30 seconds? Something like that?
It's 18 seconds.
18
like
seconds.
Blair is a fire descendant, like and Skonu made it like in like half the time with the normal skill, but
Yeah.
with bloody deployment. So the skill doesn't matter anymore. Like it's all about the trigger mod only.
Yep. Then even with that, guys, come on. Buffing Bunny right now is a crime. They should not be buffing her. There's literally nothing Bunny cannot do. She's like out of the skill descendants, she's one of the best right at the top because just everything that she's capable of. Ancestor mods made every skill descendant viable in crit and everything like that, so I have absolutely no fucking clue where they're getting their sources from, like you guys said, but at this point I don't want it, man. I want a negative. Can we go back to preseason? Guys, shall we all pool money together and pay him for preseason? I think it might work if we all try hard enough.
Well, I think a lot of that, like Bunny's a good example of this. So people seen Bunny when Deathstalker Abyss was
Yeah.
out, right? And Bunny was the shit, right?
Yeah.
So now now they take their bunny build into the next abyss and the next abyss. Well, the way the game works, that isn't always going to work. So that's kind of, I think that's where people come from that you see in chat saying buff bunny, buff bunny. They just don't understand the basic, like they don't understand how the game works.
Yeah.
But the devs are literally right there. So like they can either explain it or of course do a better job of explaining it in the game. But I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of that comes from a lot of the time.
You're
And
probably
the-
right. I think internally they would benefit from having someone on staff that understands that at that level, right? Of just bunny is bad because you're currently using the wrong build for the activity you're currently doing.
Agreed,
not
Zelvax,
bunny
agreed.
is bad, let's buffer, right? Like the conclusion needs to come
Bunny's
from
not
context.
gonna destroy the Abyss Colossus that is strong against electric. Like it's a very simple. It's a very simple.
Do you want to
statement
bet?
to make, and it's like they don't even. But you
wanna
know
bet?
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
For
what
an
you mean, I know what you mean.
average
Average
player.
Says the
Yeah.
bunny main. Says the bunny main over here.
Literally, in Wave Eruption, just change your reactor to whichever element is strong, change your amp mod, or just use
Oh,
crate
God,
and
I
literally
hate that. I
done.
hate that shit so much.
It is so bad. No descendant should be able to break out of their own elemental
No,
type.
because it's their identity. It's one of the few things they have, like to identify, like, and
That's a complete
Yeah, but-
design.
Don't you know every descendant needs to be able to do everything now?
it's
They
That's
all
crazy.
need to be
such-
able to do every single role.
Such a
they've been doing the
shit
thing where
ideology.
they make every skill descendant. They're trying to add like weapon builds to Jaber and like weapon builds. You know, it's like it's fine if we have gun platform characters and skill characters. Not every character needs to do everything.
Yeah.
Ajax,
was-
perfect example.
Yeah, Ajax.
Ajax, they made the Serena abilities, but not like this is the same. When they say like, yeah, on the recent weapon buff, we didn't. That was not intention, and that was not our intention to make like Serena again stronger. But you know what you implement in the game. Serena is the only descendant that have the firearm damage.
Guys, it's
extension,
me,
etc.,
Moxie,
like the
Drybass,
320%
Sen, and 7 TB.
10%, etc. But she's the only one having the AoE with it.
Yeah.
She's the only one. How you making buff to the? You know that any weapons that you're gonna buff gonna be stronger on her compared to even Glay.
Yeah.
Well, because they gave, I mean, the big problem with that one, game design wise, was that they gave Serena a power scaler that no one else has access to. And that's what the HP scaling, right? Every other character is limited by opportunity cost because they have the same 10 slots of mods. They have the same
Glaire's
reactor.
HP scaling
whereas
now.
they gave, yeah, exactly. And that's my point is when you give a character a unique power scaling option that other characters don't have, they're also going to have the normal power scaling options that are there. So they just stack on top of it. And, balancing around that, I think,
I
is
am Rookson,
what
don't
they need
worry.
to be better about is just understanding when they break that veil.
I was
agree,
laughing
'cause-
when they were like, "Go ahead."
Sorry. Yeah, no, you first. I've been yapping too much.
When they were like, "We're so sorry that we made Sharon require you to press 4 buttons," in the stream, like I agreed. Like the Sharon rework, I messed around with her. She was a little underwhelming for my first impressions, but at the same time, like they've created a meta that like if you're not one-shotting the screen every second, like then you know what I mean. The character's falling behind everyone who can do that, and they'll never get to a state of the game where things can be like really interesting and meaningful combat because unless you're one-shotting the screen, then you're slow.
Pretty much,
Uh,
yeah. Then even to expand upon that, let's take Daya, newest descendant. What's her main stuff? Activate your second ability for the damage buff and go poof straight flying forward with a lance. With the current meta of the game, like you mentioned, it's rush down. It's rush down and nuke. And if you don't fall into that, or you can't keep up with the fastest nuking descendants, then you're finished. Even as a gunning descendant, with Glay, unless you're using like one of her skill builds like Blood and Iron, what's your best bet? Run around with a relic and then just keep grappling to make your way around. Because meaningful gunplay hasn't existed in a long time. I remember the last time I used Bunny with a Malevolent to get kills, and that was in Purge Challenge, before they made skills viable in there. So, like, there's so much stuff that they should genuinely review with other people's input as well. Because obviously, at the end of the day, we all care for the game and everything, right? And we all want it to do better for the sake of the game and stuff like that. So, honestly, at this point, I'm running out of ideas, man.
gunplay never really mattered at all unless it was just normal Purge. Like we all remember when Purge first came out and how pissed everybody was that Ability Descendants couldn't do jack shit. And
Yeah, but
then
that's
everybody
different
was
now.
making their videos. This is why you suck at like Purge because you need to build weapons. But the devs were still so tone deaf about it because they were super surprised. Like Sen would publish his videos and Ryber would publish their videos about build your Albion Cavalry gun this way for multiple different elements to take advantage of your boons and boosts towards different factions. And the devs didn't even realize or think anybody was going to do that. That's the same mentality they've had for weapons since Purge. And then everybody
I think
bitched
they're-
that they didn't want to build their weapons at all. And then
Bro,
what
Zero's
happened?
nuking my fucking eardrums.
Well, then everyone did, right? As soon as they added weapon cores and a crazy amount of power and a reason to do it, then people whined and cried at first, but then they eventually started doing it. And I think they just need to be brave and start doing that. I think there's too much like being very hesitant to irritate anybody, even in the slightest, and
Yeah,
it's hurting
no.
their game, right? Like we can't nerf. Say that we're just going to deal with the problems of never nerfing. We can't add characters that have this ability, so we're going to just deal with those problems. We can't do this. Oh, we added this skin; it was universal, and people got upset. So now we're going to pendulum swing the other way and stop doing universal skins entirely and piss off the people that like it. It's too much hesitance.
I
And
have
to be fair,
Dory.
they should never say these things like about like we have a policy, like a law almost, that there is we won't nerf anyone, we won't make nerf at all. Like this
Just
is
don't bring it up. Just don't bring it up.
this is this
Stupid
is yeah.
policy.
Don't even say it.
It's like
it
if I
is
have a
your
hemorrhoid, I'm not gonna be on stream all day. Like I have a fucking hemorrhoid. Like, no, bro, just
Yeah.
talk about it.
it is your choice, okay? But like this is a terrible idea to say this.
The fact that they keep
They're
bringing
trying
it
to
up
sweep
as
it under
well.
the rug. They're trying to sweep it under the rug when they know that if they just adjust one character, they'll be just fine. They don't want the community backlash because of the knee-jerk reaction of what happened with Inez so long ago, which inadvertently gave us one of Inez's best builds in general anyway after she got adjusted down.
And this might be a hot take, but I feel like Serena's not a problem anymore.
Nope.
I think when she came out, and
Besides
for
the
the
fact that
first
it
6
doesn't,
months,
it
she
doesn't
was
matter.
exactly like. I think they've buffed enough characters now. Like Ultimate Luna has her moments where she's Serena level. We know Glay is stronger than Serena right now. We have plenty of Dia builds that are strong as well. So it's like I don't think we even need to be nerfing there. Like I think their biggest problem at a highest level is they're boring people.
Actually, I watched your video earlier, and I think you said, oh man, what did he say? You said something about
Thank you, Cloud Surf. I appreciate it, homie.
something, but nothing's worse than boring people.
Yeah,
don't wanna-
it's be more afraid of boring your players
Yeah,
than
there you
of
go.
irritating your players, because when you
Yeah.
bore them, they leave.
What was that Bungie quote that somebody said? You don't have to care about players like something when they become apathetic towards everything and they're bored and they don't come back.
Yep.
That's like a direct thing from Bungie, who knows how long ago.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like I think, and just in general, like Pixar talks like about this when they're making movies, but it's better to aim for like a 7 or an 8 than it is to try. Oh no, it's better to aim for a 9 or a 10 on a score and let there be 0s and 1s and 2s than there is to try and aim at like a 5. And so the people that love it don't love it a lot, and the people that hate it are kind of okay with it, but then everyone's bored, right? So like allow there to be characters and modes and stuff that fail for some people, and then you say, okay, cool, we're gonna try again. Warframe just launched a mode that the majority of the community hated and still hates, but they're gonna work on it and try again. But they already have like so many things, like, you know, where's TFD's Railjack? We can go into space and fly around in spaceships. How do we do this? Like they introduced bikes. We have hover bikes. Why don't we have a racing mode or a leaderboard where you race and try to get times? Why don't we have an arcade game that you can play, right? Like it's literally just a 3-minute dungeon with a bowl with 200 Volgus in it, and then a boss, and then there's another bowl that you travel to on your bike, and then you go to a third bowl, you fight the boss, you're done in 3 minutes, you queue again. That's the content.
It's
Dude,
boring.
it all just
none of it's creative.
it just
So there-
blends together. Like
there is-
every new dungeon and thing feels like it's been the same color palette with the same like mobbing section, and
Off brown.
I
It's
just
all
I just
disposable
need
content.
something new.
It's all disposable content because after you run the same thing 100 times, you don't ever go back to it. You go to get the weapon and then you're done. You just don't want to go back. There's no
Like-
aspirational content in the game that makes you want to get better.
That's the other problem
Typically,
too.
what-
Is like most patches are like 3 to 4 hours of content, and then you're done and you log off till the next one.
Exactly. It's disposable. You do it for like 2 days, maybe a day, and then you don't want to go back.
And the perfect example was not the last one, but the previous one for the e-buster. When you get the e-buster, there is not a single reason because it wasn't a weeklies even at the moment. It wasn't even a weekly, so there is no like. There is nothing to make you and the dungeon looks okay, like it's okay, it's like it's the same loop again, it's like like a bunch of mobs and then at the end a boss and like 2 minutes 3 minutes and you're done, etc. But like that looks different a little bit than the others a little bit. And but what's the reason for me to running it now? It is, but because it is in the weeklies. But like I think that the main idea was like, run it for like the e-buster. Same as the e-buster. They implement the e-buster, they even put like base cat on it, just because they knew like people not gonna build that shit. Like they're just gonna take it and like use it as a stat stick. Yeah, but you are in a looter shooter. Why I can shoot with it?
I don't know.
Why there is not something cool with it? I don't know.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I feel like they've really been struggling with trying to come up with content that people will play because it's fun and not because they're just dangling a carrot or something to chase after it. Like I will play a looter shooter and log on because I just enjoy the build so much that I'm rocking or the new weapon. And right now it feels like most of the dungeons and the new content is you do it until you literally can't anymore, until you're burnt out. That's how many runs it
Exactly.
takes to get the thing, and there's no reason to do that. I'm not enjoying doing that because the content is enjoyable, but it's there because it's a task. And as Zero is saying, once you're done with it, you won't touch that ever again. Like the idea of like racing and things like that could be fun, goofy content to get people logging into the game to enjoy themselves and do things rather than just like knocking out their chores. Like playing the game sometimes could just feel like you're just logging in to do chores.
Yeah, literally just fun
Right.
stuff. Like I've been playing a lot of Diablo 4 lately, and I haven't played since the game came out. And
Let's go.
It's April Fool's, right? So they changed the world bosses to like just a big ass chicken, and he drops all these unique weapons, like chicken themed weapons. And that shit got me so excited. I was literally so fucking hyped for it. It's something so small and I feel like simple to implement, but it's fun, you know what I mean? And like you have to put some fun in the grind. Because I love the grind, but you gotta also like implement a little bit of fun times in there. So just something small like that, and they don't do anything like that in this game.
I was
I think
gonna
an
say,
interesting data point.
Stuff that they do just falls off because when they introduced a bunch of like all these cool Colossus and stuff in the past 6 months, like they were completely off base. Why wasn't Deathstalker during Halloween? Talking about like when Sen mentioned the April Fool's joke and Diablo with the big chicken and shit. Like why would we not have clearly Halloween themed Colossus and Halloween themed things in the game during Halloween instead of just some tacky Albion stuff?
Just slow development probably, and I'm wondering too if they end up having people pulled off for other projects and stuff like that, especially with Nexon at their heels. I think it actually is an interesting data point when they added swords, because and you guys probably can corroborate this too, but I feel like there are a lot of people in my community that stopped playing when swords were introduced, and not because swords weren't interesting, but because I feel like they were looking at metrics on the game on how long people play and felt that people weren't playing long enough. And so their solution when they added swords was, we just need to make the grind longer. They just looked at the problem and said, let's not make the carrot more interesting. Let's not put a slice of cheesecake on the end of it. Let's just make the stick longer. And as long as the stick is longer, people play longer, and that solves the problem. But all it did was just piss a lot of people off. Because now going from, you can get your sword in 6 hours of grinding to you need to run the new Void Vessel for 550 runs to get enough cubes to craft the pieces for this damn sword. I think a lot of people really had a hard time with that transition.
And there
Yo,
is
Yeah,
also
was
that was
something.
that was a
during
bad
that whole
time.
pro-
That was a bad
The-
time.
The keys during that process too were completely imbalanced. You couldn't even buy them on one of the extra 3 friggin' bonus passes that they have. So when you ran out of keys, you were doing dead runs for stuff that you really didn't need anymore because
Oh
you just
yeah, that
needed the
shit always pisses me
materials.
off. Doing runs where you can't open chests. That
Yes.
like that shit triggers the fuck out of me.
Well, the
Then
only
the
solution
best-
was make
the-
it so sometimes a chest would give you a lot of materials, but like on average, that had almost no impact
And
on
then
your
they always
grind.
had the jackpot, the
Yeah.
Then the cherry on top was the
globally.
fact that the swords
Just
were
buff the loot.
fucking shit. The swords were shit on release as well. That was the best bit. Now if you use a shadow, it's the strongest weapon in the game. Apart from
I
King's
mean,
Guard
swords
Lancer,
were them pandering to people in their chat. That's what swords are. Like
Pretty much, yeah.
Swords don't play well in this game. I never thought they would. I never imagined they ever could. And you know, it's very true. Like they're mostly just stat sticks now. They do good damage against elites, but like
that's it. As
They
I
are
said,
They
the
never
movement,
intended
the
to
movement
add
on
swords,
sword
but
is
they added
horrible.
swords because they were requested.
yeah,
Pretty much,
they
yeah.
gave in and went out of their way to make some swords.
Pretty much.
They
Then
have
you-
no vision.
I forgot they had a sword only battle pass.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you
God.
know what the
Fuck,
worst thing
please.
is about the sword pass? The fact that if you look at what's in there compared to like everything else, the pass was actually good value, which is crazy to say because the skins are right now for the sword, the transcendent ones are like 500 each, and I think that sword pass was like 1,200 caliber, along with like
800.
catalysts and 800, yeah, it was 800
800 the
caliber.
Transcendence, 500 the gold.
Yeah, Transcendence to 500, that sword pass was 800, and you got like 2 Transcendents, a bunch of catalysts, some extra sword stuff and stuff like that. That pass, despite
thing is,
people
though,
disliking it, it was good value.
The
Well, the
game
most
was
of the
doing
value was
really
cosmetic,
bad
right?
then. The game was
Yeah, it
doing
was all cosmetic.
horribly.
They did that to
Imagine
introduce
if that
them,
was
like,
free. Imagine if that was free.
oh, if it was free, it would have been hell. It's just people would have loved it. They
That's how you get
introduced
people
that
on the
sword
game.
pass
I
to see how much
remember. You
they-
guys remember when they delayed season 3, and then instead of introducing maybe a free battle pass or a battle pass extension, if you already bought it, here's another 100 levels of goodies while you have nothing to do for the next 2 months. They did
Hmm.
absolutely nothing, and they just said the battle pass just stays, and that was that.
The
That
sword
was
pass
the
should have just
extra
been an
6 months of
extension.
Sigma Sector and Void Vessel, wasn't it?
They never show a lot of goodwill when like they have the chance to. So like for example that and the sword pass, like this game's not doing good. Here's a free, here's a battle pass. Maybe you make it 99 cents. I play a lot of Warren's Meat. They add a lot of 99-cent things in the game because well, it gets you to enter your credit card in. You buy that, you feel good. Maybe you spend $5 more. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? They never do
Yeah.
anything like that.
We call those conversion items. It converts a user to a paying user for
Yeah.
extreme value.
What
Well,
is
let me
everybody
ask
doing
this,
in the game right
'cause-
now? Like when you guys log into the game, like what is your base goal right now? We all have done everything in this game. We all have max achievements. We all have all that. We have
Finding-
everything there could be. Like, what is your goal when you log into the game? If you guys even
Finding
do?
something broken.
Gooning.
Survive until my stream ends. Survive until the stream ends. Help people, I guess. Mess around with builds. Find something more broken, like Seven said. Pretty much, yeah. Oh,
And
sorry.
also-
Sorry. Visiting my
So
lounge.
there's no
That's
actual
top
reward
priority.
in the game. There's
Lately,
no
it's been
actual
about
reward in the
ancestor
game
mods.
for anybody.
Yeah, lately it's been about ancestor mods, but I was just saying to chat today, like, I don't even want any more ancestor mods because they suck to roll. There's nothing fun about rolling them. You know, like 99% of the time you're getting absolutely nothing useful. And then if you just run out of goop and keys, like, well, now you're just fucked. So it's like almost going to roll them is like torture at this point.
Well,
There's nothing fun about it.
When the Axian missions, when it's what power converter facility or something, you spend 3 hours in there getting all the goop to re-roll your mods, and then you don't get like the roll you want on your mods. You feel like those whole 3 hours were just wasted.
Because it was.
Okay,
Exactly, yeah.
I'm gonna
Nobody
hit
wants
you
to
with a
play
hot
for-
take as well. Sorry, after you. I'll go after you. Sorry, boss.
Well, nobody wants to like play and feel like they've wasted all that damn time, and that's all ancestor mods are.
With Ancestors, though, I feel like leaving it as a utter RNG system is the best play going forward, right? The reason for that is because with these items that help you boost your stats and stuff like that, right? Guarantee one good roll or something like that, that kind of hurts market a little bit more. And if they want more money and more economy in the game, they need to make Ancestor mods more valuable. The whole reason people want more Ancestor mod storage and stuff like that is because every single week you can get 50 Ancestor mods as a guarantee and stuff like that. With Ancestor mods, they were meant to be like a power scaling system that I would assume would have probably been the top end of the game for a very long time. But I don't see that happening anymore. I feel like something else above Ancestor mods is going to come out soon. And whether it makes the game a million times more broken with skills or with guns or with whatever, I genuinely don't think Ancestor mods is going to be the limit.
I think
If you look,
I think excuse me to cut you, but I think like the main thing is like you don't need any ancestor mod for whatever content in this game.
yeah, agreed.
So as long as they don't add something challenging enough that need the power that the ancestor mod give you,
Mhm.
there is no need.
Yeah, because having content that you can clear with a regular build is fine, but then, if you get lucky with an Ancestor mod, or you pay for the power on the Ancestor mod, then it benefits you, you save like a minute on the run, or 30, 40 some seconds, then that's fair play. And if we're talking about Ancestor mods, I'll tell you guys, hands up right now, I've spent upwards of 4,000 British pounds on Ancestor mods, just for the sake of rolling them, for testing them, for all the sort of stuff, right? So when you do get a top-end Ancestor mod, it absolutely breaks your character. I'm sure you guys have all probably got your hands on one mod for your character, and you're just like taken back a little bit because what the fuck is this power, or something like that. And I feel like that is something that they should stick with, but not fast track it. If everyone has broken Ancestor mods, and like let's say like everyone has broken Ancestor mods or really strong mods, then they kind of would have to include Ancestor mods in balancing the game, which is something I think would be even worse.
This is what they do. This is what they do because their keys for like rebalancing everything is like changing the synchronization value.
Yeah, if they keep
I would,
going at
I would
this rate,
argue, like, I think it actually is. I do think that too much balancing is a problem. I think that you, in a PvP game where everyone's on equal footing, right? If I'm playing League of Legends and the mid laner I'm going up against starts 8 levels higher than me, I'm going to be pissed about that, right? But I feel like the core of what makes PvE fun is power fantasy. And if you can't find anything that feels broken in the game, then I think you're going to be bored. So I think that it's good to be balancing and looking at that stuff, but also I think they should kind of, like with the new Thunder Cage rework, when you see it, your jaw drops like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. I think they should be doing more of that and be less afraid of like, this is a little unbalanced for the people that play the game all day long. At the same point, there should be things like, I think Daya was a great addition. She's pretty strong in a lot of ways, and they had to make some adjustments, but it's unique, it's fun, it's interesting, and it's good in a PvE game to feel powerful.
I agree. I'm saying with this that they need to keep the Descendants strong, of course. But with Ancestor mods, I feel like when it comes to the top end, like the double golds or triple golds or double/triple reds, there comes a thing as too much power, if that makes sense. I know it probably doesn't, given that you're just gonna melt content a little bit faster and stuff like that. But they kind of need to see where the Descendants are, because I guarantee you, if you look at some of the Descendants, let's take Glazed Blood and Iron recently. Do you really think they knew what Glay was doing then? I don't think so. Even with Ancestor mods, if you look at the top potential of what a lot of the Descendants can do with an Ancestor mod, they need to kind of keep that in mind as well. If they just balance the game around non-Ancestor mod Descendants, this would be better, but also acknowledge or kind of tone the top end of them down a little bit, and that's a problem too. It just loops.
I agree
itself.
with you
Is that a
guys
problem,
about the Ancestor mods, but here's the thing: Ancestor
Yeah,
mods are
fuck
the
the
only
game.
chase item in the game.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
So
why
if
I'm
you
saying
tell
they should always
99%
be
of
like
the, if you tell 99% of the player base that the one chase item in the game, you will never obtain that. Like, why are we playing the game?
Especially when
saying?
it takes a ridiculous amount of time to roll something even remotely useful for
Yeah,
the character.
that's the problem. It's fine if you have very like so Diablo 4. I'm gonna keep breaking this up because I'm playing the shit out of it. Right, I have one piece of gear that's 4GA'd, right, and that's it, which is cool
Can
because
you
I can
translate
still
that into
obtain.
TFD terms?
It's basically a God Roll Ancestor mod.
Noted. I got you.
Okay, so
Or
I have
great-
one piece, but I still have other things that I can obtain that isn't going to make me upset because I don't have 8 pieces of 4GA gear. You understand what I'm saying? In this game, there's one item, Ancestor mod. It's the only thing that's halfway random. That's a chase item, and
Is
you can tell about 99% of the people in this game they will never ever see a God Roll.
Wait until the weapons, the transcended
Well, yeah,
weapons. That's gonna
yeah.
be the
out of
second problem.
curiosity, do you think it still has?
Until it's a transcendent thunder cage, and we're all sitting here laughing, saying, "Oh,
Jeez.
sick."
Do
Pain.
you think it's still as much of a chase item if you can just buy it?
Absolutely
That would
not. You're
Well,
flooded with ancestor mods. How many can you get per week?
50
50
guaranteed.
Infinite.
That's my
it's
only thing
infinite
with
now.
ancestor mods is
And
like
if you swipe infinite, yeah.
yes, it is kind of this end game chase item, but if you don't want to chase it, you just buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You
Like
can buy your way
at least in
directly.
Diablo 4, for example, if you want to buy a 4GA item, that's a ton of time grinding the game to get the amount of gold that you could get to afford that it is still a chase item. But in this game, you're not like grinding credits to be able to buy
No,
a chase item. You can do that in Warframe. You can grind
and directly
caliber.
you can.
I
And directly you by
kind of,
farming and
yeah.
getting some horizon mod that you don't want, you sell them and then you get caliber for buying your own mod. Getting the exact mod you want for rolling, I don't know what's the percentage of chance you have to get exactly what you want on your favorite descendant or like on the descendant you play the most, but it's really low. So the best chance you have is like to buy it, and for
Yeah.
buying it, you have the choice to either like use your credit card directly or you farm a lot, get mod, roll them, sell them, and then at the end, with the caliber you get out of this, buy finally the mod that you want.
Sure.
I wonder how
It
many
goes-
players actually engage with the trade.
If people
you know what
can't
the thing
like
is?
roll the ancestor mod they want, they're just gonna go look at the leaderboards. They'll find one that the top place, and then they'll just go buy it off the market. They're not gonna
That's what
waste the time.
99% of people do, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're not gonna
Then
waste the time.
Then to top that off, they oversupplied versus the demand. Look at an ancestor mod now. How much can you sell a female descendant ancestor mod? 10 caliber in world chat. How much can you sell a male ancestor mod? You're lucky if you sell 6 of them for 10 caliber. That's the kind of state we're in. On top of that,
Hey, you know what?
everyone getting 50 plus a week, and nobody gives or very little people care about buying unrolls to test their luck versus just look it up on market, see how much it is, try lowballing the person by telling them that it's bad, and then pray that they fall for it. So yeah, there's both sides of the coin. I feel like ancestor mods are a problem to an extent, but we've got bigger problems than ancestor mods, so I think we should move past this for now.
Well, on that segue, I think if you look at the history of TFD over the last 2 years, there hasn't really been, besides like season 1, a meaningful uptick of new players coming in. So a lot of this stuff is like for existing players, right? If you're balancing things, updating things, reworking things, right? So like what, you guys are all gamers, like what new styles of engaging with the game, be it game mode or systems or whatever, do you think would be a good addition that they should look at?
There's some sort of content that gives us something to chase that's meaningful in the game that doesn't revolve around getting a crit or not getting a crit for shaving a second off of the leaderboard time for a medal that disappears in 30 days anyway.
What does that look like for you?
Man, make the coolest freaking skin out there possible and have it so not like breach control or was it breach tracking? There's got to be some content out there that challenges you not just by how quickly you can blow up a room, but react to evolving mechanics or changing mechanics within a mission to get something done quickly. Something that doesn't show how quickly I can press a button, but how quickly I can react and use some sort of skillful reaction. Does that make sense?
That was
It
Purge.
does, and it's an interesting topic because, sorry to talk over, but this one is actually pretty interesting too because you kind of have to think about it from different player-based perspectives because obviously they did have harder content several times, right? Like the Devour launch was a nightmare. Trying to do Molten Fortress on launch was absolutely impossible. People can't do pylons and stuff like that. So the question is like, it's good for people that like difficulty, but there's a large subset of the audience that doesn't want difficulty, and if it gets too hard, they want to be carried.
Can I
They can't.
chime in on that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. I think a big issue with that and like kind of their mindset on launch is they saw people. First off, it seems like they're very afraid of people struggling, and they saw
Yes.
people struggling on these bosses, and they said, "Okay, let's not look at why they're struggling. What aren't they getting? Why are these players behind the other players? Let's just make it easier for them." When the game has had fundamental new player issues since launch that still aren't much improved, there's like, if you're gonna fully catalyze a character as a new player to be like, what people would like kind of require you to be like ready to do hard missions, the wait time for the catalyst to do that is ridiculous. Like you're waiting, what is it, like 70 hours to be able to of just like crafting timers on catalyst. You know what I mean? Like there's instead of
The
giving people the
accessibility to characters is horrible.
yeah, instead of giving players the tools to like learn of, oh, why am I not able to do this boss? What am I missing? Why is my character not ready? They just said, here, we'll do it for you. This boss is nerfed. And I feel like that approach has been emulated out throughout many, many aspects of the game where anytime that there's friction, instead of trying to figure out why there's friction, they just try to remove it.
And I was a part of like at Gluttony times when Gluttony comes out, etc. I've seen like so many people struggle. I was helping like many people, etc. And I think like I was in the thing of like I don't want them to nerf it because it is good the way it is at the moment. I just want them, even if it's needed because of the mechanic, because of the thing that people don't get, put like a video clip on where you launch the boss, like as you get on the shop for the sword effect that you get, but like put like a sort of like tool chip video, like I don't know how to call it, with like the mechanic or like saying what is the mechanic instead of nerfing it for everyone.
Yeah.
It is like more like you feel bad for those person. This is good, no problem, but like don't nerf everything because at the end it's gonna be kind of like a versus between like the not really a versus, but like they're gonna put like the veterans player against just the casual player when they could play together in like a public matches with like a better understanding for the casual players, and like the veterans player in like a public match at the time like would like carry a little bit more about the damage, about everything, but then he also get help on the mechanic. But like instead of that, they choose a path that I never understand. It's like get rid of like the mechanic, make the boss like Deathstalker and Gluttony soloable, make like everything soloable when we are playing like actually a looter shooter, and if I'm not wrong, it's a co-op game basically.
Well, the box is
And
point.
like
Some players don't even understand that their damage is the problem or their defense is the problem. They just know that they suck and they don't know why.
Yeah.
This is why like there is videos, etc. There is content creator that make videos for like the build, etc. How to defeat this boss, etc. And there is not just that. There is also like all the mechanic that you implement after on every boss. And then we don't get the mechanic boss anymore. We just get a HP bag that we need to get down faster.
Basically, just the abyss bosses then. And then, sorry, even to answer. Sorry, Zero, you go first. My bad.
Well, the way it works in other games is like when you go to fight like and I don't want to say the Colossi or like a raid boss or anything, but when you go to fight a big boss, you're trained on mechanics up to that boss fight. You have something that sort of like explains things to you. And like Seven said, there's no tooltip that does that. They try and explain it in a paragraph, like about the boss, like on the boss info screen. We know people aren't reading it. They know people aren't reading that.
And even then, the text mean nothing. The text mean nothing.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there is resistance and stuff, etc. Like there is data they don't provide. Like this is good. There is many things that gone in a better way. Since like the resistance and stuff they are showing, etc. But like there is a ton of hidden stuff that they don't say. Like the mechanic, how much resistance you lose for better understanding. That okay, no, this is affecting my damage a lot. I need to do this mechanic in order to not getting my damage nerfed that much. And like I would be okay like with more explaining, but like more mechanic.
I agree.
Explain it more. And
I was gonna say-
if you are like a veteran player and want to figure this out directly in game, you're not forced to read it. But like the new player, like the not the veterans player, would actually like, okay, I have everything explained to me, so I'm just gonna try to replicate.
You know what's funny about that is there is a bigger than you would probably think a subset of people that play looter games to turn their brain off and have zero difficulty, and that's how they enjoy the game. So I think that's kind of the other challenge too, is like there are people that just want to mindlessly kill hordes of mobs, Dynasty Warriors style, with no
Diablo
mechanics,
3.
and that's how that's what they enjoy. It's Diablo
Three
3
difficulties.
arcade
There's
action
nothing
game.
wrong with that. There's plenty of games that do that. The problem is this game is that, but it doesn't
Yeah,
do it
that's
well.
all it is.
It
That's
doesn't
all
it
it is.
doesn't do what it does well, because this is a destroy hordes of mobs, and when you get to a boss, you kill it before it kills you. The problem is that's what the game's become, but they have no idea how to do that well.
Yeah.
And another thing, going
But-
back to the Colossus stuff, when they did that, unfortunately, like the Colossus were the identity of the game.
Yes.
They made the game cool.
Yeah.
You
Massively.
grapple, I'll take him down, shoot his weak point, and they absolutely nuked that shit, and they nuked the entire identity of the game. The one thing that stood out, like made the game different, they just deleted it. It's gone.
Yup.
Then even
whole,
with
like,
that as
nerf
well,
rate-
sorry, with that too, going back to what Moxie said, with newer players, I replayed the game with the boost path again. The boost path should be a standard with the game when you start it. That would counter majority of the problems. It'd give you a good weapon, it'd give you a bunch of catalysts and all that sort of stuff. To what Seven was saying with Colossi, mechanics, even like you said, a simple video, just do you want to see how to beat the boss, or would you like to see a guide on how to deal with the mechanics? Simple thing there as well. And even with us as well, how many of us here got up off Colossi? I know I did. Sen used to do boss carries. I know Seven used to do boss carries. With us as well, Colossi was such a fundamental part of the game, and I know so many people as well who joined the game just for Colossi because they look like such a cool fight. How many of you guys got drawn in by the marketing on how cool it looked and stuff, and then you fight
and
it,
then-
it's cooked?
And then not only that, like that would bring actually people towards the TFD category, looking at streamer or looking at videos or like tutorials or whatever. Right now, what is the point of making a tutorials?
Out of
There is no mechanic.
curiosity,
Yeah.
Alyssa, on that boost path, would you say that helped teach you the game, or did it just give you some powerful things to start?
It told you exactly what to do. Every single time you completed one challenge, it would show you how to do the next one. Like it'd show up with go to the bench here, and it'd highlight it with the orange marker instead of the blue one, and it'd tell you what to do, go next. And as you progress through the game, it'd give you a better weapon that's on level with what you're doing. It'd help you basically. It was like the equivalent of holding your hand whilst giving you all the weapons you need. When I started, I got a level 100 relic. I think that was just from the login pass as well. And I stomped every Colossi all the way up to hard mode with just that level 100 relic, not even needing to reload it in most fights. So
That is good though, because the start of this game, I've gotten other streamers to play this game, and I literally have to like tell them like, hey, just understand like the first like 50 hours of this game is absolute garbage, but I promise it gets better.
Like,
Is the
yeah,
boost path
Steam controls.
not standard anymore? Like, did they just do that
No.
and they took it away?
It's,
for
it's,
now?
it's only an event.
It's
It
event.
should 100% be the standard. Because if you play this game with a
Wait,
boost
I
pass,
thought the whole point
it's
of
so
that
much
was to
fun.
create it and then disseminate it and use it forever. Did they take it off for new players?
only
Yeah, they
events.
do.
was to draw new players in, to say, hey, you can catch up to veteran players
can-
real quick if you do this. It's not part
Yeah.
of the
They turned it
baseline
off?
process.
They changed the boost
I
path
didn't know
the
they
second
turned it
time.
off.
They changed it the second time as well. The first time, when you made a brand new account, it'd make you skip all of normal mode and take you straight into Axion with like level 0 or with like basically
Yeah,
no
that was
understanding of
bad.
anything. And then this second time, it takes you through normal mode. But then as soon as you enter hard mode, the first quest is the Sigma quest, and then straight into Supermassive Receptor. I knew what I was doing,
And you
so
didn't.
I managed to clutch it. But if you are a new player, you're gonna get absolutely pounded by that shit, bro. You're gonna get
And
wrecked.
there is also a thing like because I made the same thing and like actually like the boost path is something that as I said like should be a standard for the game because it's not like you see there is like 3 pillar on the map etc 4 pillar on the map but you wasn't like forced to do the 4 or 5 or 3 mission or like you I think it was 2 on the map like you were doing
two
like,
missions in most tile
two
sets, yeah.
mission on the map and you were good and after you move and then the boost pass tell you okay like put the power increase mode and then leveling up a little bit like not fully but like to 2 level level up this mod and like that was actually like good mod. They give like good instruction in it for starting the game like not like a crazy good instruction but like basic like the base
More than adequate.
and
At
yeah.
least the second boost path introduced you to the mod screen and where to put the mods and stuff. Previous versions
Yeah.
were just
Yeah, the first one was bad. I watched a bunch of sponsored streamers play the game and literally get thrown into the end and just not a clue what's going on, getting waxed the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the second pass gave you lots of good mods. It gave you like power increase, HPM. It give you once you maxed out or the pass, it give you ult bunny. If you did the login event, you'd have I think 25 catalysts in total. You had the option between Ines and 3 more catalysts. You had like loads of cores. You had logins. You even had ancestors on the login event. You had the dire ancestor. You had the shadow as well. And then on top of that, the Eckert, bro, nobody is talking about how bustedly good Eckert is right now, man.
Yeah.
You can make a brand new account, just do all of the boost path, just do 1 week of Eckert challenges, and that's MR 23 straight away.
I think with that, going back to the new player like boost thing, there's a side effect of that where it's throwing you into like Axion or Supermassive Receptor as a new player when you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground on what to do and how to equip mods and stuff like that. There's a side effect of that whole process where not only does the new player feel like shit because they're getting waxed left and right, the veteran players that are also in those activities are having like a pretty bad experience when it comes
Picking
to
people up.
picking people up all the time, which leads to a snowball of like I mean, I don't know if you guys have your world chat or your local chats open, but there'll be players that are just bitching out new players saying, go do this solo, go do this by yourself, stop ruining my game, crap like that. And it spirals out of control really damn quick.
Yeah,
So
with
I've
that,
had people that are like veteran players or like semi-veteran, and they'll go and say, "Hey, wait, why do I keep dying in Axion, or why do I keep dying in Sigma, or whatever?" And I look, and they don't have any core. No, they have a good build. They just haven't cored their external components yet, right? Which is a huge source of defense and HP. And I think that's a side effect of them adding so many systems over time that all have their own unique purpose and stuff like that. I think they kind of have a good direction with the leaderboard system, and they could just say, hey, you died in this mission. Here's the level of stats that the average player that completes this has. And then it would be really obvious, oh, my HP is really low, or oh, I don't have enough skill power compared to the average or the leaderboard or whatever, and that can help drive people towards that and figure it out. So I think these games, figuring stuff out it's the fun, you know?
I will counter this. I will counter this because sometimes some run on the leaderboard, of course, they will see like the top players, and I see this for myself. Like there is like my time on the leaderboard is made in a certain condition and with a certain run, with certain things to do, etc. And some of the effect of descendant, etc. Like everything is calculated for this activity and my run personally, or like what it should be done for like the leaderboard run at the moment. I don't like, for example, for Freyna, like you was talking about the component core. Then the best for Freyna on the Infernal Walker was to not put core in order to die faster, in order to respawn and use my thing. So I don't have HP core on my Freyna. But if people like went to look my Freyna run, the Freyna leaderboard and see that everyone is not using HP, but like the other choice because there is only two, like
They
then
won't
this
understand.
is not a really good thing, and that would not help them at all.
Then on top of
So
that,
question
right?
on this, because I think, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say sorry. The biggest thing, though, on top of that, like with 7, if I like, for example, I know what I'm doing. I'm sure all of you guys do too, right? But if you see that on the leaderboard, you're just gonna think 7's a hacker, unless you know that he's like just that guy. But the other biggest thing, sorry, the one thing I wanted to say is, how many of you guys play with your viewers? You all play with your viewers, right? Or people you play with your friends and stuff, right?
I
TFD
I
is
used to
I used to. That's fair. This game was
a lot
so much more fun.
before.
Is so much more fun when you play with your friends or when you play with viewers and stuff like that. Straight up,
Yeah,
the best time when you have
that's
is when
right.
you play with your friends or play with viewers. The fact that co-op gameplay is not even encouraged in this game is stupid because every single
Exactly.
descendant is the one-man army in themselves. If you take Serena and a Kingsguard Lance right now, you can go into a breach tracking and go bully 3 other players because they can't touch a single bloody thing. That's what they can do right now. And obviously, just that in general, but I think they should put an emphasis on encouraging co-op play. Whether it's better rewards or whether it's something else, co-op definitely needs a comeback because in my books at least, it was the most fun I've ever had in this game. Especially Sen, you remember when Purge 30 was a thing and it was Purge release. I don't know, you were dogging for them leaderboards, bro. We all were. It was fun. And that was a team synergy. And that's something that I think made the game insanely special. And it made it fun. And I just think that's something that should come back, if you ask me.
Yeah, but every
I-
time they go for that, they just say they're gonna like so with the latest dungeons, right? And the 4-man, it was tough. So what did they do instead of saying, okay, we'll keep the 4-man tough, right? And maybe keep that as a difficulty, and then make I don't know a lesser version, but keep the harder one with more loot. They just go, nerf the whole thing.
Nerf.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Nerf.
Okay, so like
think with
it's like literal free hard content on their plate, and they just go nah, and they throw it out.
Well, I think
They're
from their
trying to make a
perspective,
game,
right,
so-
it is important that the people that like difficulty can seek it out and the people that don't have a path rather than them just leaving, right? Because I know, like, at least from the locality of this Discord call right here is more hardcore gamers. I don't think anyone in here is playing 2 hours a week while you're doing your single dad activities and going to the baseball park, right? Like, we're definitely not that cohort. But I think that I think they have a fundamental misunderstanding on what makes difficulty interesting and exciting, and also what people play looter games for in a PvE setting. Because what they did with, like, Gluttony, for example, is they put a item that you want on Gluttony and then made him incredibly complicated and difficult to pub, right? So if you wanted the pistol that came from Gluttony, you'd have to buck up and do it. And I think that's one, making the people that enjoy difficulty suffer because they're forced to group with people that don't have the same mindset. And two, the people that don't like difficulty are forced into a setting that's toxic and a little bit more competitive that they don't really get to enjoy, so it's hurting both people. The lesson from that usually is you make the stuff that you need to farm and grind accessible to everybody, and then you introduce a difficult mode that is more about prestige and climbing the leaderboards or being strong or completing it as a separate thing. And I think they keep screwing that up, right? With
They never do
Deathstalker and
that.
various others. They're like, here,
Purge.
let's put it all in one, and then the people that don't like difficulty
Yeah.
can't get the item they want, and then the people that like difficulty are mad because the people that are just there for the item aren't playing the way that they want.
Purge 30 is like the perfect example of that because the
Right.
game was actually still kind of doing well then, right? But there was like a let off in content for a bit, and then Purge was the update, right? And they brought all these people back for Purge, and that shit was hard. Like I had a good ass group. It took us almost 24 hours to beat Purge 30. So you brought all these people back, and you're talking about the higher end gamers on the game can barely beat it. So you don't give anybody casual anything to do. They went in the Purge with no matchmaking, like no group system to make a good group. Because if you public queued, it's you on Enzo with another Enzo and a Lepic and a Kyle. Well, you just back out, right? So there's no matchmaking system, and there's just nothing for those people to do. And they always did that when they put something in the game back then. They don't give anybody casual anything to do. and it's just here's something hard. Those people get pissed. They're gone. See you later.
The thing that was cool about Purge 30, and kind of to add to Alyssa's point, is like there was actual like team and group synergies to do that harder content, and I think that's one thing that they're really missing with the Descendants. Like Warframe's got a crazy roster, right? But like when I think about Warframe or Warframes, a lot of them have like a niche or a role that they fill or
Yes.
something that you'd want to you want this frame in your roster so that you can do this type of mission. You want this frame built out so you can go do this type of mission. And I feel like they're like hesitancy to like try to incentivize roles. I mean, they said it like literally out loud. They're like, we don't want healers or whatever. Like, we don't want healers to be necessary or things like that. And sure, but we need Descendants to have a purpose and a niche. And right now, it feels like all of their rebalance and reworking is just let's just make everyone do everything, which not only dilutes the gameplay and loop, but it also just makes characters lose their identity.
I think just the vision as a whole with the role-based gameplay of like, all right, I need somebody, like we'll take Gluttony for an example. Someone's going to handle balls, someone's going to cool them off, someone's going to stand and like, you know, make sure that his parts are getting weak to grapple and stuff like that. It's all gone. Yeah, it's all gone.
Oh, they don't have you used the perfect word, vision. They don't have a vision. Their vision is what Joe said on Reddit last night.
Well,
they have no vision.
Remember, season 3 was the vision.
If they have a vision, I don't think any of us could see it. Like, I have no clue.
Look, I got Pablo glasses and I can't even see it.
They need someone to own the game design and understand game design and push it, right? Like I think one of the major flaws with Gluttony was that it was both, like for people that play MMOs, it was both a DPS check and also a puzzle mechanic heavy fight, right? Which means that you need someone on bubbles. You need like 2 people on bubbles, really, just because he moves around a lot and there's bubbles all over the arena. But then you also need people doing the thing, but then you also have a pretty strict DPS check to make sure you kill him in time, which means no one can slack in a mode where it's public queue and people are just there to get a pistol.
And it's
or you had the mechanic. Or you had the mechanic also. Like there was also the good thing when you had like the mechanic, like someone grabbed the like for doing it faster before even like the power creep and everything, and like someone grabbed the shoulder, the other one DPS, there is a buffer, there is this, in order to like for the veterans player to like be proud of like beating him before the frenzy and before the immunity, etc. And founding to put everything in order to work. And I don't feel this anymore in the game.
Yeah,
I think that's a perfect segue. So that's a great topic that I think they've been struggling with a lot. So there's the idea that like Gluttony has too much going on, right? And so if they were to make it either a mechanic heavy fight where people can spread out and do mechanics and delegate, it needs to also be a DPS check, because then, you know, you need the people doing mechanics to also be doing maximum DPS. So the problem that they have right now is that if they were to make it a true mechanics fight, typically mechanics fights have invulnerability phases or very low DPS requirements, so you can be busy doing mechanics. The problem is if they make the enemy weaker because it's a mechanic fight, people are just going to kill it in 0.6 seconds and then skip all the mechanics anyways.
Yeah, but that was not that was not every time. Like you needed at the time, like at the start at least, like you needed like to figure out everything in order, like having the right person, the right like descendant and everything. Like it was Enzo, it was Sharon, it was some with Glaze and stuff. Like it was like a synergy, like the whole group doing something in order for this to work. It wasn't working every time. Like you launch in a public matches, or like you launch with a friend or 2 friends in a public matches with someone else. You there is no way you're doing this. There was no way you do.
Well, unfortunately, they got rid of invulnerability because apparently people complained about it.
Yeah, that's
because of the mechanic. We ended up with Abyss Colossus.
You talking about immunity phases?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a mistranslation. I always go back to this. I think it was a mistranslation. I think people were annoyed with like how the dungeon bosses were. You remember? Like they were super hard to get out of their immunity phases, and it was just really annoying. And I think that's what that came from. But I mean, if you get rid of immunity phases, you don't really have mechanics anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's just
Then
HP
on-
bags. Pretty much.
Then on top of that, talking about synergies as well, they are not aware of what their own synergies can do in this game. Because I've literally cleared the last 4 Abyss bosses and Warcrasher with just Luna and Freyna because they buffed Freyna so hard. And Infected Weapon became cracked, and Ancestor mods are even more cracked, and they don't realize that all their stacking synergy. 10-second kill, not even 10 seconds. Send with 3 Freynas and
stuff like that has
Luna.
always been in the game, though. Like, there's
True.
always been really good buffing synergy in the game. That's not like something
Buffing
new.
synergy. I was gonna say with that as well, they need to keep an eye on all this sort of stuff. Even if it's increase the resistance of this or do that, they gotta be aware of it at this point. Because bro, when I saw Warcrasher for the first time, I was like, bro's gonna fuck my shit up. And then I see 8 Serenas, and I was not the one who got my shit fucked up that night. He did several times over. For that matter.
Well, the
I
one
was
thing that
so
really
excited for
upsets
that
me
fight.
about the one thing that really upsets me about the Wallcrasher is during their 1-year anniversary stream, they made a specific point to say supports are going to mean something again, and supports are going to be useful. They specifically called out, you're not going to see 8 Serenas in there. You're going to see Ajax. You're going to need you're going to need that kind of stuff. And then later on down the line, like it just evolves into the same thing. Kill it before it kills me.
Well, the thing is, like, the fight was quite literally designed for Serena. All of the AoEs are ground AoEs or shockwaves, and everything is ground targeted, and Serena can ignore all of it. So I know
he does
said
literally
it's not going to be
nothing
8
to
Serenas.
stop her.
No, I mean, literally, she is the perfect counter to everything he does. That fight was designed for a flying character.
And if you look at it, look at the Void Vessel that came after.
Yep, even
the boss of the Void
anti-Serena mechanic.
There is the anti-Serena mechanic, so they go on the ground, so they can do something about it, but no.
No, apparently
I mean,
not.
it's simple. You just introduce an EMP or something to the game that's like up in the air, and it EMPs her and she falls down.
EMP would be
Guys,
good.
I gotta head out. Good chatting.
Word.
No, man.
We
Take
should
care,
do
bro.
this
Have a good
again
one.
sometime.
We should.
Agreed.
You sure?
Sleep well,
Long time coming.
Make this a ritual after every dev stream, maybe.
Oh god.
So we can all sit here. So we can all sit here and load the next 18 months of raising baseline and buffing descendants and raising bit. Sorry, no.
I mean, this was better than the video I was about to make about absolutely nothing. So
you know what I was gonna do?
Ultimate SEO, Raven. They talked about. They did confirm that Ult Haley is after Raven as well, so she's the next Ultimate.
After Esmo,
okay, you're totally forgetting about Ultimate Esmo there. You're
Esmo's gonna be broken.
Me very, very much.
Esmo's gonna be busted. If they make SMO's mobbing fast, like almost like female descendant fast, he's gonna be one of the strongest descendants in the game. Even if they turn his ancestor value down, which they said they're not going to, he's incredibly strong. SMO is one of the strongest bossing descendants in the game, and if you get on that same team.
That's why I always laugh when they say that when they talk about all this buffing and stuff. Everybody is strong.
Yeah,
everybody's strong.
I think the problem with Asimo, the Asimo problem is kind of widespread. Actually, I call it the TFD problem, but basically, it's an otherwise good character that's effective that is held back by abilities that take too long to cast or have too many like lockouts, right? So like I think personally, I know they're working on a Viessa rework. I think Viessa is insanely strong. She just needs a little bit more range and faster abilities, and her ult needs to be easier to deploy, and she's done. So I'm worried that they're going to do a Sharon thing where they're going to add 4 new like.
What does Viessa need? More range, more range, more range. They've yet to add more fucking range.
You know what I'd say with Viessa? With Viessa, I agree with range, but I'd go about it differently. The way I would look at it is spread more so than range. You know, like how within Ace's fourth ability, you have the circle and then the outer circle. If Viessa had like if she had like an outer circle or a hurricane, or hell, even if they reworked it so that the hurricane starts tracking and starts chasing mobs down and stuff like that, that'd be better. Or something like that.
Or a cold wave, like something that make like one of the bait, like she apply like frostbite and stuff. But like, what if like using a blizzard, like ice the mobs are like inside of it, and like on top of this, like one mob get killed, and eaten by like frostbite, and then apply
Yeah.
frostbite to the next enemy that applies certain damage, etc. Like a
Yeah.
certain propagation
Yeah.
skill that make her like eat actually like vast area, because her main problem is like she does like decent damage. She's strong like as a damage dealer. She does decent damage. The only thing is like the quality of life and like the ability of like demob like the vast area.
Yeah, or even something as simple as you put a hurricane down with your first ability, then if you use your third ability or your first ability and shoot it into the hurricane, it'll make the hurricane bigger, or it'll make it stronger, or make it shoot out in different directions or something.
There's so many simple things. Like, why doesn't her 4 just track and move around?
Yeah, literally.
The
creative
really,
ideas
it's really
are there.
silly, simple stuff.
Well, I think they would do well to have a better understanding of opportunity cost too, because I think it's not inherently bad that a character is slow or has low range. I just think it just needs to be part of the equation of opportunity cost. If you have a character that is going to be slower and has low range, it should do more damage than every other character that's faster and has less drawbacks, right? The trade-off should be there. It's just not.
Well, it's like what Sed was saying. Every character is a screen wipe. Every character can screen wipe in the game. It's just how quickly that character ramps up to the power level that they need. Bunny, build up your electric meter, cast your 4, bam, it's all gone. Glay, cast your 4, infinite ammo, bam, just go for it. Like other characters have such a higher ramp up time to that screen wipe that it makes them almost ineffective in most cases if they're playing in a group setting.
And that's fine if you know how to build the content for that. Nobody complains in an ARPG that they're absolutely wiping everything out, right? Because the content is built towards that. Because that's what you build to do. But the thing is, on those games, they're able to give you content where doing that feels good and fun, and you want to keep doing it. This game is just not able to do that at all.
That's why it was interesting watching them showing off the Sharon rework. And like, as they were talking about it, you could tell the community manager was like, wait, you want me to do how many things before I deal damage?
Oh, but I mean the shit. I memed the shit out of this. Basically, what they said is, guys, it looks slow. Yeah, but guys, it looks cool. That's what Jason said, man. I was dying. I memed it so badly. But
rework was so clunky. So clunky it wasn't even funny. Even Plane disliked it. And Plane is an absolute Sharon stan.
Bro, it's wild too, because like if you compare the Ultimate Freyna rework or like Nell release or like Dia release, you have to wonder who was doing the Sharon rework in comparison.
100%. Bro, the people who made preseason are not here anymore. The people who made the game good back in the day are not here anymore. And even with that, bro, I had to listen.
I say that all the time too.
Yeah.
Whoever designed like the first maps of the game, like the whole world map, there's no way that person or people are working for this game anymore. Because there's no possible way the person that designed the original maps made anything from Axion on. You just can't even see it.
1,000,000%. Then even on top of
aesthetic means a lot in a game. Like the aesthetic of where you are, it means a ton. A game like Elden Ring, like why do I love Elden Ring? I suck at Elden Ring, but I love the fucking atmosphere, the aesthetic of it. It doesn't matter if I suck because I'm just engrossed in what I see and I feel connected with it. You know what I mean? And like everything Axion on is just it's just fucking gray. Everything's gray
and barren.
It's all brown and it's like brown and gray.
Bro, Crimson Desert is such a good example of that as well. The world building in Crimson Desert, bro, cinema. Cinema is the best word I can use to describe it.
And it looks different too, like everywhere. Like you go places and it's like almost like you're in a different game, right?
100%.
We kind of have that. Like if you compare like Ogna Desert to like White Knight Gulch, right? Like it's definitely there. It just feels like the old maps got abandoned and we got brown Sigma and gray Axion, and then we do every new update is a new dungeon or area in one of those.
I got a question for you guys. What do you think about them they're not giving us any more power type items for a while, right? What do you guys think of them just locking in and evening out descendants as they currently are right now, this baseline of damage and power that we have, keeping that baseline and not extending it any further forward, because
You know we're getting new
this
power
is not
systems
true.
in like a month or two.
Yeah,
We're getting new
and
power
this is not
systems in a
true
month or two.
because whether the
transcendent weapons
descendant
are
is
going to be
strong
a
or
huge
not.
problem. Transcendent weapons are going to be a problem for Glay and
Yeah.
because of Serena.
Yeah,
Like it's
And
transcendent weapon.
Ajax and Enzo. Yep. All of them. Every gunner.
I mean,
Well, I think it was like all the
my biggest
end-game
question with those
systems.
weapons is if they're
Go
the
for it.
old weapons that we currently have, Transcendent, or if they design new weapons.
They
You know
already
it's
I
gonna
have
said
be
a
old
yeah.
feeling
ones.
it's going to be
It's
sunsetting
it's
our
gonna
the
be
it's
old
the old
ones.
weapons. It's the old ones. They said Kingsguard Lance as an example with 6
Yeah,
lances.
They
So
are
instead of
like
3.
they are Recyclotron 9000. If they can recycle it, they will.
That's
Yeah.
that's gonna be really
It-
bad.
It is. I mean, because the thing is, the other thing they said at the same time was we want newer players to be able to get Transcendence in normal mode and then use that till pretty much the end game. And bro, the ultimate weapons right now, reworking them is fine. But if you're just gonna release Transcendence in like a month anyways, and they're just gonna drop this pretty much the same as Borderlands does with like the legendary weapons or the phosphines and stuff like that, then why bother
For
reworking the
Legency?
ultimate weapons because the Transcendents are just going to trump them anyways?
I mean, they do that with Descendants. They'll buff SMO, and now we're getting Ultimate SMO. Why didn't you just make when you buff the SMO, just call them Ultimate SMO?
Yeah.
And that's what
I mean,
that's what they're doing.
Haley's a perfect example of that. When they did the Haley rework and buffed her stuff up, holy shit. Oh,
Yeah, they
Bro,
should have just released Ultimate Haley.
yeah, exactly.
What's
Haley's
the weight? I never understand the weight with this game.
They do
Bro,
develop really
Ultimate-
slowly. Like if you compare it to any other, well, especially if you go into like gotcha games are pumping new content weekly, right? Like obviously they have the money for it, but this game compared to most games, like if you think about the start of TFD was what, summer 2024. If you compare about all the chapter updates that Warframe has gotten since, like 99, Old War, like all these like new areas, new zones, tons of new content, like 10 new frames, right? Like comparatively, I feel like they just release things really slowly, and the stuff that gets released you can consume in about a day, and then you're waiting another 3 months.
And it ain't about
Well,
the
that
money,
prob-
because if you go back to 2024 and you look at Steam top sellers, TFD is literally right next to Warframe. It made as much
Flash
money as
dropped a video.
Warframe in
Send a
6
link,
months
please.
than Warframe made in a year.
Another side to that is we're spending 18 months doing this rebaseline, rebuff for damage and bringing Descendants up so often. Like they mentioned Valby and Bunny are getting another pass, right? Is this pass 3, 4, 5 for those two characters specifically? Meanwhile, we have
Probably
other
the
characters
teams.
over here eating
Si-
dirt.
It's 6 for Bunny.
Well, they had to buff. I remember when Keelan came out, they had to buff him. I think it was 11 times was my count. So
Yeah,
on the
and it's still
launch
fucking
day,
us.
they literally, one of the patches, they buffed him by like 3,600%. And I just don't know how you can be that far off. Like I understand like 50% here, 10% there, 20%. But if you're 3,600% off the mark,
Well, he
But
play
Keelan is
tested
strong.
really well too. He play tested perfectly with focus groups. Keelan was a freaking monster, but they didn't want you flying off the map like Serena did like a couple months later. And
Keelan
they
is
just
strong
magically
also.
put him in the ground.
Yeah,
Plus,
that's
he's a
Keelan is
guy.
strong also. I would say Keelan is strong, and like there is some male descendants that are strong. This is not the problem. This is just that people don't want to play them because their base community, like the base of the core of the community, prefer playing like female descendant. And like even myself, I include myself in it. Like I do prefer play female. Even like I do prefer like playing female character. Like my favorite character is Glay, etc. If I can play Glay the most, I will. Like and. Like I feel like
it.
continuously like buffing in order to like I hope they don't take the player pick as as the main indicator of like if the descendant is performing or not. I could be wrong, but like I really hope they don't, because this is such a bad idea for a game like this to do this.
It seems
And-
like fan service at this point. They're not even looking at data points of this like low use descendants and why they're low use. Like they're just doing fan service, it feels.
They're low use because they've
Well,
got
I mean,
a
to
dick. Let's be real. Let's be
To be
real.
fair,
Agumon,
I mean, honestly,
trust
if you look
me.
at it from their perspective, right, like their fan service is keeping the lights on, right?
Yeah,
So
their
like
Yeah,
fan
they
service
have
is
to at this
they
point.
have to. They are a
Yeah, they have
slave
to.
to the fan service at this point, and they cannot stop. Otherwise, they will get
Yeah.
shut down. So it's like to a certain degree, and I think that most people would be receptive to all the fan service if the important stuff was happening in tandem, right? Like if we
Yeah.
got the lounge and also got a new game mode, great. If we got jiggle physics and we also got 5 new Colossus at the same time, great. Do whatever you're gonna do. I think the problem is just when all we get, like the big headliner for the patch is now the boobs jiggle. Okay, see you guys in 3 months. Like that, it just feels like it's just too light.
Well, and
Vash
that's like
dropped
you were
the
talking
YouTube
about
short.
content update and iterations of content updates. Like every other week or every 3 weeks, there's a content update, but the content is just the skins being put into the game.
What skins
It's
are
not
content,
something
guys?
to
What do
do.
you mean? Skins are fucking
Oh.
excellent. Skins are fucking
Yeah, but
great.
you got to be able to do anything. I don't have an answer to like any of that. Like
It just
Yeah.
needs to be balanced. Like I mean,
it's
they're giving
almost
us a
like
bunch of
they
skins,
just
but no,
work with less staff than any other game ever made.
I mean, it feels
You know
like
what
that.
the
They
wor-
supposedly
you
have
know
a
what the
different
worst thing
art team
is?
and a different content team, but they all draw from the same budget, and it doesn't feel like the content team. I mean, proof's in the pudding. It doesn't feel like the content team is getting a good amount of the budget, which it doesn't make them the money. The skins do, but like Dry Bear said, like there's no balance to that. There's no balance to the fan service to the actually some shit to do.
So what would you guys take the game as is, like to your point, just lock it in and just say that's the base. What would, like, if you were someone that quit 8 months ago, what would bring you back? What would you like to see in the game that isn't already there?
Porn.
Usually my first answer would be like a really good horde mode, but I mean they literally just advertise it as we're making a defensive horde mode. Here's a turret.
Yeah, what
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
that's
one? What's the
interesting.
one game type and game mode that is in every single looter shooter out there, or any other type of loot grind game out there that TFD does not have? We don't have a true endless mode in this game where you can just sit there and blow mobs away left and right with scaling
know what?
difficulty. Onslaught's supposed to be that, but it ends in 10 rounds, so it's not really an endless type of thing. Something you can
Right.
sit in there and really, really like try and flex and focus your build. Sure, you got to work up through 10, 15 different levels, but once you start to get to 20, like how many people here played the betas and tried to go to wave 21 on the protect the friggin' whatever canister thing that it was? It was hard.
The problems
was
are
hard.
the problems are so deep though, because as great as that sounds, or as great as like anything sounds from any of us,
Descendants.
what am I getting from it?
The
Fuck off.
rewards don't match. They were scared to give us level 10 cores for the
No,
longest
but
time.
the
I
thing is,
remember
look what I,
when they
look
gave
what
us when they gave us a box of like 5 level 2 cores, which is
Oh
like
my
one
goodness.
Like, who the fuck is
4,000th
gonna use
a
that?
useful core. It's like, hey, here's some breadcrumbs and a grain of rice.
They don't even
You know
know
what the
that
funniest
cores
thing
are a
is?
problem for a player.
look,
Like
Oh, yeah.
cores
look what
for a
happened.
player are an absolute issue. It's
Oh,
This
such
is
an
what-
issue.
Speaking of Purge challenge modes 1 through 5, like why is that a once a season thing? Make it a once weekly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a weekly.
mean,
Yeah, it
Like-
should be weekly.
You're gonna spend 50 green cores to even get some semblance of a good fire rate before you have, run out of the will to come back and keep doing it.
You know what though? Responding to what Dry Bear said, what would make you come back? Honestly, if I quit TFD right now, they could do everything in the fucking world, and I don't think I would come back. Because, like Sen said, the problems are too deeply rooted. Whether you want to say Serena is the problem, whether you want to say the content is the problem, the fact that it's rinse and repeat is the problem, let's be real. The game in itself was greater a long time ago. And I think they focus so much on chasing the player numbers, the player count, and what makes their lights stay on right now versus what made the game truly great back then. Whether it was community, whether it was players, whether it was their ideologies, visions, or whether it was the team,
Yeah.
I
that one.
genuinely do not believe in the fact that they can produce something that would want to make me want to come back personally. And every day, I'm sure you guys get it as well. People spawning in saying, I've just come back after a while, what should I do? First thing is you tell them to get to hard mode, get yourself one character you enjoy, invest everything, then just smoke the rest of the game with that. Because it's as simple as it gets. Like Sen was saying, and like Seven was saying before, loops, content, engagement, and even Dry Bear, what you were saying, reasons to return is something they just do not give you. The beta of this game looks like a completely different game. The preseason of this game looked like a completely different game. And essentially, we've all just been watching the decline of it. Everyone calls me a doomer, but it's because I dislike the fact that they just keep going down instead of what could be pushing them to go up. I'm not saying that, I'm right, you're wrong, all that sort of shit, because, everyone's going to have varying opinions. But for the love of God, if they were willing to work with literally any of us or ask us for even basic input, that would be absolutely great, because at least we would kind of have an idea of what's coming. From what I got today out of the notes that I wrote down, it was the fact that
Oh god, my notes are like a fucking. It's like a 2-year-old wrote them because they literally. It's like a 2-year-old read them to me and then I wrote them down.
Yep. We take the comment about retention seriously. A long-term roadmap, completing the game. Phase 1, overhaul the game. Phase 2, improve accessibility. Phase 3, build upon the foundation of what made this game good. And let's be real, it's like that meme, what was it? Every day we stray further away from God. That's what TFD is. That is literally what TFD is.
You actually hit something on the head there, because they throw all these buzzwords out there and they make all these damn promises about things that they're going to do, but they never follow through on them, because they've said the same thing for the past 18 months. And if there was somebody who was going to come back to the game, they quit 18 months ago, and they're going to come back to the game. Last thing they heard from the devs was, yeah, we're reworking Outpost, we're reworking Colossus, we're reworking this and reworking that. And where are they now? They're saying the same things. They're reinventing the game in Season 4 because they have to fix their content loop, their reward structure.
I was about to mention this. Like, it's basically they're saying a lot of things and there is nothing done. Also, there is one thing, to answer the question, Dry, you asked, like, if I would leave the game, etc., and for them to bring me back, it's not about like, of course, like a hard mode, like an infinite mode would like be exciting, but like it's more so I see that they understand their mistake. At the moment, I think they don't understand their mistake at all, and they like keep going with the same thing, etc. And like they don't understand their mistake. Like building up like something strong with the community, etc. via the content creator is something that I would wait for, like with playtests and stuff, so they understand that their studio itself can figure out all the mistakes that be done before the content release. So they need maybe like people that play the games more than them, and this is not difficult apparently, to like put their hands on the new content, making a video, sign an NDA or whatever it's called, and then like let's say one day before, like they have tested the thing. If there is problem, there is the feedback on it, so they patch this before the release. And there is also the fact that the content creator will be able also to hype the things up by saying like, oh, okay, I've tested the last content and this seems promising. But for that, they will also like to understand and like actually act instead of just saying, yeah, we understand, we do this, we're working on that. And then at the end, we come back like 1 year after with like Serena was a problem. We need like a patch before releasing content. Okay, no problem. We are 1 year after, we have the same problem. We don't have content and you're still promising content.
And that year later, they're saying the same things they said previously, like the exact same thing.
This is honestly like
that player trust.
This is honestly like an abusive relationship at this point, bro. My ex treated me better than this, and she fucking cheated on me, man. And I still feel.
I was gonna say nobody's gonna go back to Bungie. Nobody's going back to Bungie, but that got real quick.
Axiom was season 3, right?
Axiom release was season 3.
Okay, so that was August. That was August 2025. So what's kind of interesting here? I'm just looking at the CCU right now. within 2 months of launch, they kind of started to settle already. Like they launched July 3rd, 2024. And by like mid to late September, they were kind of already at there. So based on this graph, I would say that they had retention problems from the jump. And that's kind of the big problem when you have a retention problem. Retention is one of the most important stats because you can't really sell anything to people that aren't there, right? So if people don't stay in the game, then you have a major problem with that. And it almost feels like they've been kind of targeting that as their core problem since then. Like even just, less than a year after launch, they were already in like the 4 digits on PC, which means they're probably very similar to that on the consoles as well. So they kind of already had that, and they've been, honestly, since maybe like March 2024, so we're about a year out since then, they've been chasing that same kind of metric. And I have to imagine from Nexon perspective, they're probably looking at this and saying, okay, you've been spending a full calendar year trying to improve metrics and get more people into the game, and it just has been more of the same, right? So that's kind of like where my question comes from, at least from you guys, because I know the call is very experienced of, obviously doing more of the same isn't working. And also hearing people, a little bit with rose tinted glasses, but also just looking back on what the game was when it launched is, if you were like to you, xAlisa, if you're saying that if you left and there was nothing they could do to bring you back, or, Seven, you're saying like the game was really, really good, or Zero saying the game was so good back in the day, or Sen's like, I like grinding this or climbing this leaderboard. What could they do, at least like imagine that dev time isn't a real thing. Like don't think about how long it takes to make anything. What could they change? Like what's like the top of your low hanging fruit list, or like your targeted list of like change these 3 things and all of a sudden the game will be instantly better? Like what is that for each of you?
For me, it's stop thinking about balancing and old things and just focus on new things. New Descendants, new Colossus,
Game modes.
new dungeons, new.
Game modes.
Well, and when
Similar,
new
I'll put a
Descendants.
similar on my
caveat-
side as well.
I'll put
They
a caveat
almost
on that
have it like
new.
out there on the plate though. Like new Descendants do great for this game.
Yeah.
It's like a hero in like whatever Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, right? That's kind of like
It makes you come back and play.
yeah, they have this
Yep.
thing there, but for some reason it takes them so long to release them. And then you have like
Yeah.
a gacha game that has a new character every month. So like why would I leave my gacha game with a new character every month, or Warframe with a new character
Yep.
to come back to a game that can barely get 2 out a year? You know what I mean?
The crazy part too is that I always think about this is most of the characters in TFD are very like adjacent to each
Similar.
other from a development perspective. They're all relatively the same height. They all have relatively the same width of shoulders. Most of them are fair-skinned, conventionally attractive women. They could probably ride the same skeleton and rig. So you think about like, games that have monsters and creatures and small sharks and things like that, where it's a development challenge to figure out how to implement that. It feels like in this game they should be much faster considering how similar all the characters are.
Yeah. Then even to
And
push
yet
that
there
synergy
is still
further.
mistake.
Yeah, plenty of mistakes, Seven. And then even to push that
Like-
further, to divide down the middle, you get either the AoE speedrun nuke mobber or the hard-hitting single-target bosser. And it's always one or the other, or at this point, it's a fuck it, let's just do it all. So,
Yeah,
the
I was gonna say the lines are
development
pretty blurred right now.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can use anyone for mobbing, and you can use anyone for bossing. So, the whole we're giving everyone everything ideology is a mistake, in my opinion. But if it's that easy, then they should be pushing characters more often.
Well, I mean, yeah, that could be
The-
a problem with why they're taking so long, is they're trying to
something that's
make
unique.
every descendant the perfect
Mhm.
descendant. Instead
Yeah.
of just making a descendant with maybe maybe 2 builds max, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. Instead
They're buying in-
they're trying to chase constantly making some type of perfectly crafted descendant, which is nice, but
Yeah.
from your philosophy of the game, well, you can simply just work on that as you go.
Like, why would somebody want to
exactly.
build or even go for a new descendant if their favorite descendant can already do everything they
Well,
want
yeah,
to
they
do?
should
in the
always
game?
be
That-
OP.
that's true.
I think they
So,
should
like,
always be. They
massive-
should always
And
be
with-
cracked into their mind.
And with your content thing, where like, yes, we need new content. We need so much new content. It has to be innovative. I keep calling these Axion dungeons and things all disposable content, because once you're done with it, you don't go back. and they're all a copy
Apart from
pasta
weeklies now.
of the second Void Vessel that was out there, where it's go to a room, kill 200 dudes, go to a room, kill blah 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 until you're done and get the loot that
What do
you
you
want.
What do you guys think about the hover bikes in the dungeons?
The hoverbikes in the dungeons, but you can tell me a fucking chimpanzee made the pathing and I'd believe you.
Well, I'm
It's so
saying like
bad.
having.
It
I'm
helps.
saying like having to get on the hover bike and
It's a
It
waste of
doesn't
time.
bother me.
instead
It doesn't bother me too much, like, because obviously, like, the dungeon's only 3 minutes anyways. But yeah, I definitely see
It's-
people like being, why
You-
is this racetrack here when I'm in the middle of fighting?
Yeah, but would you rather be fighting stuff the whole time?
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
I was
It's a
about to
waste
say. Like, it's like
You,
it help. Yeah, the bike help to travel those empty fucking area.
Yeah, because they're
Like, look
The
at
o-
the
the
second
only-
Void Vessel, for example.
the only thing that I would say
Nothing-
is I personally would rather they scrap the bike sections and give us 2 paths in the
Just
mission.
fight. Just
Like
more
Void
fighting.
Vessel 1, Void
Mhm.
Vessel 1 had 2 paths and then it never came back. And I don't know why it never came back. Breach Tracking's got 2 paths per tile set, 3 tiles, 6 individual paths, and breach tracking's fun. I really enjoy breach tracking. Bikes in the dungeon, yeah, make bike only sections, but they just feel hollow and
Breach is
empty.
fun, but they still haven't done anything with that, which I also
It was
find
it was
crazy.
it was just like legally distinct Sigma sector.
Basically,
Yeah, well,
except
I mean-
without the rocks.
How hard could it be to just add a new map to breach tracking with each monthly update?
Good
It's
question.
apparently pretty damn hard because you
probably
saw
not
how
that
long
hard.
it took them to make certain dungeons and invasion for
Because
who knows.
you know they're all based on old maps.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Yes,
assets
they're,
are
they're
there.
literally,
Something
they're literally
small
just
like
one of the
that.
tile sets.
Goes a long way.
The
Yeah.
assets are there. This is not the thing.
I'm glad someone said
I-
tile sets because new content could really benefit from procedurally generated content in this game. That
Yeah,
would freshen
like
stuff
let's
up a
take
lot.
Take
Could they
Warframe,
pull
for
that
example.
off?
Every single time you're in a similar tile set, you'll recognize the points, you'll recognize other things, but majority of the time it's a different tile set, or you start from a different spawn point, or you move a different path, or stuff like that.
I don't
Even
think
if you
they're capable
recycle
of
this,
pulling that off.
nah,
I don't
they're
think they
not
are
capable
either.
of putting that off. Remember, they said it takes them 4 months to make a Colossus fight. I don't have very
6
much belief in.
6
I've heard more.
6 months?
Yeah.
It
Sorry,
seems
my
like
bad.
it seems
6
like
months.
it seems like a year at this point.
Yeah,
That's I mean that's
right.
actually not that bad, to be honest. I mean, if you think about this, in MOBAs, the characters in MOBAs are like 8 to 12 months, right? And so you have to be careful with the time estimate. Is sometimes they're including concept and ideation and stuff like that. It all depends on the arena of the map and the character and all that stuff. I think their biggest problem is, back to Sen's point, is it's just we're so starved that if you brought me carrot cake and I didn't like carrot cake, I would still eat it. And so, like, at this point, add in 12 new modes, add in 40 new characters, try some dungeons with the bike section, some dungeons without the bike section. Just give us variety instead of doing like the same targeted thing over and over, right? Like, I think just different stuff. And sometimes the different stuff is going to be unfun. There's going to be people
Bro,
that
why
like
have they
certain
put the
segments or
beta
not, but just,
Albion in this
like,
screenshot?
everyone's
That makes
so
no
freaking
sense.
hungry.
This
just
is
start
Albion,
bringing
but this
out
is the
dishes
beta
for us
version
to
of it.
try.
It's a lot like we have 5 content creators in here, right? We will
Yeah.
all fail. You have to fail. You will
Yeah.
fail. Something you
They
do
can't do-
will fail. And that's just how it goes, and that's how you learn. And it's like,
Mhm.
God, I don't know, maybe they're scared to fail.
Bro, what the fuck?
Because
They really are.
sorry,
I mean, after the
because they
Inez
react
nerf,
to the because they react to
yeah, they just don't like
to-
it when
to
people are
stuff.
upset. But sometimes you have to make people upset.
They're scared to do that because somebody mentioned it in the gobbledygook of language that was going on. That Inez nerf, like they got such a blowback
Hard
from that they're
backlash.
scared to do anything that's going to upset somebody.
And the funniest part,
Well,
Inez
yeah.
wasn't even actually nerfed. They made her stronger in that. That's the worst
mean,
part.
at this
but
point,
best
That was
build
my
for
problem with
that.
the Inez. The Inez was like, the Inez thing was multifaceted. One, I think that anytime you nerf anything in a PvE game, you have to be careful because if people invest in it, this happens in any seasonal game like Tarkov or Path of Exile or whatever, nerfing what people build for. But also, if you have people spending money, like if you just bought the old, like the Inez $100 pack and then she gets nerfed, you're going to be upset about that. But I think that the biggest problem of it, because if Inez is a problem, you have to fix it, is the way they went about it is they made Inez feel worse without making her less effective. It just felt
Yeah.
worse than before because they got rid of the line of sight thing, which probably needed to happen. But I think if you're going to nerf something, you usually want to preserve how good it feels while making them less effective. And they did the opposite. They made her exactly the same in strength, but feel worse than before, which is why it was such a negative blowback on top of PvE and paying money and stuff.
Honestly,
Then-
today, if they bring back Ines as she was before, would it be a problem?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Other than line of
Absolutely
sight tricking,
fucking
no. Nothing.
Do you know what the
No,
thing is
not
as
even.
well? Not even line of sight would be a problem because Ines just doesn't hit hard enough in a 4-man. She's weak. Ines is weak as shit. She's not going to hit hard enough. And then on top of
She's
that
decent
too,
in like massive area, massive like quantity of mobs. She's decent there,
Yeah.
like but trash mobs, not in
She's horrible.
like the last dungeons or whatever. No,
Yeah.
in like
Yeah.
400% or stuff like this. But even the out of the sight is not a problem.
Then
Today.
Dry Bear as well. You know what you said with how people would get mad if they spend money on Ines and stuff like that, then she gets nerfed, right? You were absolutely right about that. When they did change Ines, they made her feel worse to play whilst keeping the same thingy. If they delayed the nerf for like, or delayed the change for like a week or two, and then released the version after that, they released 2 or 3 weeks after, people would have complained less. And then on top of that, I think that Ancestor mods is also being affected by that ideology as well. Because you have absolutely zero effing reason to rework a Descendant and then not change the Ancestor mod values. I'm saying this now, 1, so that it's on record, and 2, because I'm fairly certain that this is probably going to happen. If they buff Bunny's base crit rate, even by 5%, Bunny is going to be capable of almost hitting 100% crit rate. Anything above 75 is almost permanent crits right now, but I am genuinely terrified of Bunny having 100% crit rate because she's already a problem the way she is. If you give her Infected Weapon and 100% crit rate, she's going to absolutely annihilate. And we saw what they did to Condense last time. Last time they buffed the modifier from 3000% to 7,500, so they're going to like double her damage. I'm terrified because I don't want her to be more broken. And overall, I know I advocate
for the love of God.
she's gotten like
touched
8
up all
buffs,
the
but
time.
she gets buffed every time. Poster child of the game, even though
They
it
love
should be
her.
Serena at this point. They love her. They don't
Yeah.
they don't love her for the right reasons, man. And honestly, let's be real. Even back in preseason, Bunny was a problem. But in the earlier aspects of games, right? In the earlier aspect of this game where Bunny was the problem or Freyna nuking the room was the problem, it in my opinion at least went out of pocket when it got out of pocket when Ines got introduced. Previously, even with Freyna, with Contagion and stuff like that, or even with Bunny, you'd get stopped by the elites and you'd have to start gunning them down. After the arcade tuning trees came out and you slapped defense neutralization on Freyna, that's when stuff started getting out of hand. Where Freyna was melting elites in 1 second, Ines was obviously melting elites in 1 second, and then the fact that they nerfed or changed Ines and then Serena at the same time was a thing, because we knew about the one-shotting builds and everything like that, that we were one-shotting Tormentor, and instead of responding within 24 hours, they did, Serena, she's funny. Then they released Ice Maiden, same thing happens, Serena multi-shot, melts her in seconds.
No.
and
Serena, they said don't use Serena, blah blah blah. They didn't want it.
Yeah, they were like,
to use Serena.
yeah.
And then what they've made, they said, okay,
Challenge
we're gonna
mode.
release the Ice Maiden challenge. You know what? You can't apply
Challenge
debuff right
mode.
now. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're affecting
Literally-
all the other descendants for one descendant.
Yeah, this is the thing. I was going to say, a lot of people have forgotten this fact, or they don't know it because they're new to the game. The entire Abyss Challenge mode was created literally just because Serena was so far ahead. And other Descendants could keep up. Estimo was great in there. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, Ice Maiden is probably one of my favourite Abyss bosses. Just because of the Estimo synergy back then. I had a lot of fun using him. My favourite is Grim Reaper, because Deathstalker was a beast when he released. But even with that, I don't think they should spend more time now doing the entire game over because they can't address their balance problems. I know we mentioned don't nerf Serena before and stuff like that, but honestly, you can't not say that she's been a problem for the developers for the longest of time. and the entire game's balance drastically shifted when she became a thing. Obviously, we can have the whole Nukes Arena whatever argument again, or conversation. Sorry, not argument. But there's no point. It's a broken record beyond belief, man. I'm tired of it, and everyone
nerf her
else
tomorrow, nothing changes.
I don't think
Nothing
she's a
changes, you're
problem
right.
anymore. It's more of just like a future weapon proofing kind of thing. But like just to play devil's advocate for a second, how much of a problem is it actually? Like say like they buff Bunny again and she reaches perfect crit rate and wipes the screens or
Nope.
whatever. At this point, how much of a problem is that actually?
At this point, put content in front.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
I was gonna say
if there's
at
nothing
this
new,
point it doesn't matter as much.
challenging or engaging to do, it does not matter who's the best, who's the strongest, who does this. It's all irrelevant. Everything gets wiped, and that's that. And
Yeah,
we play the same
Bro,
old
they
content over and over, and there you go.
So I think that's the crux of their problem is all of their efforts are put into adding dungeons to the Axian planes and to media and like Void Vessel and stuff, which arguably probably isn't their best content in general, considering that most people really like the open areas of the old maps. And if we're saying that, like realistically, it doesn't matter all that much if you have a character that's 40% above the rest of the cast, most of their efforts are on rebalancing, refixing, adding what's already there, and trying to balance the game that's is. But I don't think they have a balance problem. I think they like if they say for example, how do you guys think the game would change if they released a new Descendant every month?
Oh, it'd be great.
It would be constant back and forth, and they'd be on their toes.
Skyrocket. Current players would at least go to 7 to 10K a month.
It's funny that we're here right now because the Dia release was one of their best
cooked.
updates in a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
She's fun.
Absolutely. Dia's solid.
She's fun.
Good.
She's unique. She's different.
Do you know what I think with Dia though? I think with Dia they had a lot more
writing
writing on it.
Descendant each month. Because next
Yeah,
time they've already shown that like their descendants are so in parallel with one another with what they can do and their abilities and things. I don't think they can genuinely release one a month and have it be like a meaningful addition to the game. You're just gonna get like a fire bunny or an electric male descendant. Heaven forbid another male descendant.
One a month is a lot, but at this point we get one every 6 months. So even if you said one every 3 months, it's like okay, well, that's
and look, still an improvement. Yeah,
and look what we get also. We get
meaningful.
Well, that's something I say all the time. Is I don't think the monthly updates are good anymore because
they're very light.
It's literal. It's just breadcrumbs. It's little breadcrumbs.
Yeah, breadcrumbs.
It's
so you
character improvement.
You pull people back onto the game and you show them nothing. You're not going to keep getting that person back. Eventually, they're just going to uninstall.
Well, I'm sure you guys get this comment all the time because I know I do of just like, hey, I stopped playing at X time. What's different since then? And sometimes I'm just like, honestly, not much.
The videos that we made, like 6 months to a year ago about, you're just coming back to the game. I mean, you can send them the exact same content, and it's going to be just as relevant now as it was then.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Then I was gonna say, even when it comes to character releases, sorry to back your guys' points up, I was gonna say I feel like Dia was a special case because we had Glay initially, and let's be real, Glay is a utter goat. She carried preseason, she carried Purge, she carried everything, man. Glay's always been an incredibly relevant character,
and
her entire character arc was talking about her daughter. Yeah. All of Glay's story is talking about Dia. So I feel like Dia was a special case in terms of everyone was so hyped and we got her in Sigma and stuff like that.
You gotta try to with that obviously that formula worked, right? Building a story for a new descendant worked.
Story-driven descendants, yes.
So they have a formula that worked, but they're just ignoring it.
Guys, my favorite descendant story is Harris's. I got punched by Corel, so now I'm a descendant. That was cinema, absolute cinema.
Little attitude adjustment, yeah.
You got put in the can crusher, man. Oof.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'm gonna step away for just a couple minutes. I have a dog that has to go out.
Yeah, no worries. Make sure to take care of your pets, man. No worries. I was gonna say, even with that as well.
I think it's an incredibly relevant point about story-driven stuff because there's a lot of characters and things that get added to the game that don't push the game forward. They don't push the narrative forward or grow the game. I know there's probably not a lot of people that are interested in the story, but like that seems to be a fundamental thing of a live service game, of pushing the story forward. And seasonal
You
always
want your
used to
game
do
to have
that.
spirit behind, like there is
Yes.
a context, there is everything behind everything
Exactly.
that explain everything. I feel like there is just some of the last Descendant that released, they are just there because they meet Karel pretty much. That's it.
Yeah.
Nell, like he has a story with Enzo, but not much. Daya is the Descendant the most finished overall, like
Yeah.
kit wise, like story wise, like across all everything, she check all the marks. But
Yeah.
there
Even
is
with
some Descendant that there is nothing, there is no spirit, there is nothing behind it.
Well, to Zero's point,
Yeah,
I think
even-
that what they need to be doing aside from just world building and story is also just this is something that Warframe does really well, but creating a playground, like an ecosystem, right? So like if you add Sigma Sector, figure out how to make Sigma Sector part of the playground, right? If you add new dungeon, make sure the dungeon is part of the playground. It feels like they're kind of building it from a one-dimensional standpoint of, we need a new activity. Okay, let's make the new activity. Okay, new activity is out. All right, we need a new activity, not... Okay, like when a child goes to the playground, sometimes they want to play on the monkey bars, sometimes they want to go on the merry-go-round, sometimes they want to go on the swing, but they can go from activity to activity and they're all kind of in one area and they mean something to each other, right? It's like an ecosystem that's building over time and it can be connected together. It's not just I hate to say this because I feel like it's a little like corporate toxic, but like it feels like it's a 9 to 5, right? We need new activity. Here's the Jira task. Okay, I completed it. I'm going home and I'm going to go see my kids. See you on Monday.
Valid. You know what? On top of that as well, you know how you mentioned it's a 9 to 5 and we need random things to do? Descendant stories were incredible. Freyna's story, great. Sharon's story, engaging, really good. Bunny's story, probably hit home for a lot of players. Then you get the recent stories, which are utter trash. Luna's is, haha, my band died, I'm so sad, why is everybody mean to me? After being an insufferable person for a very long time. Blair's takes all the aura that Lepic has and throws it in the bin in order to say, haha, I can cook a soup. And then, bro, Daya's story was well done, but Eugen's story was solid. It was okay, a little bit in the middle, but they should make their character stories engaging. How was, like, Viesta not got on a character story? How has Valby not got on a character story? The closest thing we have to that is stuff like the records. And even records, if you go lore hunting in this game, you find cool stuff. Like the Colossi are basically the incarnation of dead spirits from people who kind of manifest and stuff like that. Like, you know, stuff like that is genuinely cool. And if they're focused on character synergies, or even character stories between it, like let's say the tension between Glay and Ajax, because Ajax let Daya go into the military, that would be an interesting point of contention between the characters. Even building a world between character engagement, because how many times have you guys done the story and be like, oh, look, that's my character on screen, I'm enjoying this, or something like that, or people just like the way Descendants interact with each other. Personality. Bunny's really bright, for example. Stuff like that. Even the smaller things like that, world building is something that they should be doing, because given the environments in this game, good God, the environments in this game are so good. Even we all know that. Kingston, one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, and stuff like that. They should be expanding upon what makes this game good in terms of smaller things as well. I think that they also do need to kind of strike a balance down the middle between the bigger things and the smaller things. Because, like you said, they do a lot of quality of life and stuff like that, and it's cool. But at the same time, I would love to see a Descendant story for, you know, random Descendant or whatever, stuff like that. But because of their track records, it doesn't leave a good taste in the mouth,
through.
especially.
Can you elaborate on your beef with Luna?
Elaborate on my beef with Luna. I used to love Luna before her character story came out. Bro, her character story made her so insufferable. The concept was cool.
What's so insufferable about her, man? Like it was like you were listing all these characters. Like, this is kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And screw Luna, she's the worst person on the planet. And this was kind of cool.
Have you played Luna's story?
Little biatch,
I have,
man.
yeah.
Have you, bro? Her story's ass. She's such an entitled TikTok teenager ass bitch. That's the best way to describe her.
She likes music, man. She's just
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with liking music, but when it turns you into a donkey in the process, then yeah. Yo, who's looking at my screen right now?
Didn't Nexon say they had data about
Funny.
their character stories not being played by the player base and stuff too? I swear in one of their
Yeah.
dev lives they were
Yeah,
talking about
they
how
did.
people just
Yeah,
don't play
they
it.
did.
Because they're optional, I would believe that. And to be honest, like, you know, as much as it wouldn't really be my kind of game, I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. But like, I think that they probably could, and I think this is why they mess with the lounge and stuff. Like, if they could do more around the parasocial maxing thing, because it seems like the majority, or at least like over half of the audience enjoys that stuff, right? Like I feel like if they went down the road of like a Snowbreak or like an Infinity Nikki or something, I feel like there would be a lot of people that would enjoy that. And then it's interesting, they're kind of like an Arc Raiders problem. Arc Raiders is a game that has PvE players mingling with PvP players and they hate each other. And I feel like TFD kind of has that problem too. There are like hardcore gamers that want to climb and have chase items and things like that are mingling with like people that just want to have a dress-up game that looks really cool and is pretty. And like I feel like there's just that mix-up there that just isn't really landing as easily for them. And I think they could probably go further down the road. It just seems like they also need to be appeasing the gameplay people at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the balance thing. I mean, like you can't count quality of life and an ultimate version of a Descendant as new content in my mind. Quality of life just is not there. An Ultimate Descendant, I mean, it's borderline new content, borderline. But like a lot of the stuff that they do with updates is a lot of cosmetics and then quality of life.
Sometimes it's
And
how they
that-
line shit up too. I remember when
Yeah,
they released
that-
Blair, and then a month later they released Ice Maiden.
Yep.
Yeah.
What? Who planned what? You released Ultimate
Yep.
Blair, the Fire Descendant, and you waited a month to release Ice Maiden. That's just bad money. That's
Yep.
just bad money management, in my opinion.
Bad planning, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I
Also,
talked
welcome
about the
back, Sam.
social like events and stuff like April Fools and things like that. When they released Deathstalker during Christmas time, where he would have been a perfect release during Halloween. And then I don't know who was before Deathstalker. I know it's all such a blur nowadays, but whoever was before Deathstalker would have
Citadel.
been infinitely better. Citadel? I mean, maybe it's like a Santa. No, I don't know. I ain't got nothing for that. Sorry, but like,
Don't worry, it's fine.
didn't Deathstalker seem more like a Halloween thing than like a Christmas type deal? I mean, just
Yeah.
Like my
thematically
chat just said,
speaking.
we have Ice Maiden right now, and Ultimate Estimate comes out. With
Yeah,
what
that's a good
Colossus?
point.
Stormhanger.
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 He's strong resistance against fire, by the way.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
that's when don't we get the Keelan rework when Stormhanger comes back around, or the Keelan
There's no
buff?
Keelan rework. There's no Keelan rework. He's already got his 2 new red mods. They've
He's-
not said
he's-
anything
he's been
about
done.
buffing him.
Were they?
Yeah,
See, that's another
Why-
thing they
why-
have never
It's
followed
Ines.
through on.
Just call him,
Transcendent
why not just
mode.
call him
It's
Ultimate Keelan at that point?
Ines. Ines is getting red mods next, and Ines is gonna be. You know what? I reckon Ines is probably gonna become one of the strongest gunners. They mentioned an electric shotgun that they're gonna give her, and a red mod base for gunning. So expect to see gunning Ines's everywhere soon. That's gonna be a thing.
But like for the Keelan thing, another thing that they have not followed through on, right? Because if you Glay fits into this posture too. Because if you go look at the RK tuning board, and Glay can't make use of any of that MP shit in there. There's Descendants that can't make use of any of the MP nodes, but they need to go through those to get to like cooldown or to get to some of their mutant cell slots. So it's a completely wasted node.
Yeah, I think they should also allow us to change the slot type of the mutant cells too, because some
Yeah,
characters get
absolutely.
really shafted by that. It's just arbitrary.
Yep.
and also that was really curious when I've seen that Serena gunning, like Serena that is mainly gunning, like
Thank you,
as
Tom.
the perfect like logo everywhere.
Yeah, defense
Everywhere.
neutralization in the
Like-
top left, right next to gunning, is cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a
That
problem
was
with
true,
weapon cores too. Like some characters are made stronger by what slot type mutant cell they have on their board, and like some characters, like if you go up into the skill power area,
you're
the
right.
slot type they have is for weapons, which means that their mutant cell slot up there is wasted. And the same thing happens for weapon cores. Some weapons are good because of the core types they have, the slot types,
Yeah.
not necessarily because of the weapon itself.
But-
and I feel like if they allowed us to change these through some means, it would open up other weapons. Like some weapons, because they have 3 green slots or they have, you know,
But the-
2 yellow
Yeah.
slots or whatever. They're good because of that only.
Yeah, and then
They
next
were
week,
okay at the time. They were okay at the time because the weapons was overtaking the skill at the moment.
Yeah.
Because of because Serena, etc. And so when they expanded, like with the mutant cell and stuff, they didn't take in count that there is certain weapon descendant that we need certain like logo in this place, or like maybe like make it so we choose the logo or something like this. But they made it more so counter Serena than other thing, because when you see the logo, everything is made for so. Like for a chill descendant, you would have like a C logo on the top right with in the side, in the skill side, etc. Like they match like the logo according the element on top right.
yeah, and Skonu just told me as well that they're reworking mutant cells on Arcane next update as well. So
But they didn't say how.
yeah, they don't not said how. I don't know
Yeah.
how. They just said they're doing it.
Yeah, my chat's saying the same thing. Yeah,
Well,
hopefully they address that problem.
I think the
Well,
mutant
if
cell
they
thing
say
is
it.
because they're in like 6 different boxes.
Yeah, you know, we got
'Cause they've
mutant
been
box.
they've
we
been
got
talking
mutant.
about doing something about that for months.
We
but
got mutant box
Oh,
G now.
except
This is
forever.
cooked.
because there's just so many different mutant cell boxes.
It's
at this
just
point.
it's just quality of life at that point. It's not actual cleanup.
Yeah, but this is a mess. Like when you come and like release every time that you release something, instead of implementing towards the content that people farmed before. So the only thing you're telling me, like, okay, then my box are useless. GG's. What I
Well, there's
found
like
for like
6
the
boxes,
last
I
month.
think. Imagine being like somebody who just like is kind of getting into the game, and you're like
Damn, 50 boxes.
looking through 6 different boxes for the mutant cell that
Yeah.
the content creator's telling you to put on, like, and then you
And
don't
how
even know where to
different-
get that one because every piece of content has a different box. It's just
Yeah.
And
Rather-
it makes it stupid to follow because they're like box A, B, C, D.
And then the library as well is cooked, and half the information in the library is inaccurate too. So, like, yeah.
well, at least they have playing a lot of games. At least there is a library.
True. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
I'm so tired of games that don't have any kind of like in-game
There is everything.
library. I don't even.
Yeah.
I don't
I
understand
think-
how it's possible in the year of
I think
2026.
every game that has
Skonu, I like it when Seven screams in my ear. Is that a problem?
And any game that's build based should have a target dummy somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
100%.
Like that should just come standard.
Yeah, that would be, I don't know, because there is sometimes like also like the PT system has to be something like native or like something that you for example the new player, like there is a lot of new player of like coming back player that come and ask me like, yeah, how we do this, like I can get this, did you put the target system, etc. And
Yeah.
then like it
What's
seems
that?
like it would be good if it like native, but like at the same time they lock themselves in it because have like 2 different things that you want to farm in the dungeon. Like your PT system will be split in 2, so you need also to mention this to
Yeah.
the person that you advise to use the PT system, because otherwise it would like having the gauge like
Yeah.
loading like really low. And I think there is some like work to put into it also.
100%.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that that work against the player. Then that information isn't readily available to the player, so it's just a terrible experience.
Let me ask, this is something that, you know, for the season 1 and season 0 of TFD, a lot of complaints were around the game being too easy, that you were wiping the screens and all of that. So there's one of their solutions to this problem was with like the Axion update in season 3 was they basically took all the enemies in the game, raised all of their resistances and HP values, and also made a lot of the enemies deal more damage too. That's why people get one shot by ranged mobs in Void Vessel or the exploding mobs now. Do you guys think, like thinking back on season 3, do you feel that that was a good change? Because I feel like for the people on this call, it probably wasn't really that big of a difference, right? Because if you have a fully built character and you're paying attention to how strong your character is, you probably didn't notice too much. But that, I think, was a big turning point for the game where it got to the point where if you don't know what you're doing, you're just looking up for quarters on the ground, crawling around constantly because you're not doing enough damage or you're taking too much damage or that sort of thing.
Well, Nexon set that expectation for players. They said when you go into Axion, you're going to need a full build. You're going to need kitted external components, kitted reactors, and stuff like that. And then in that new player experience, where they give you a fresh bunny and some fresh weapons, they throw you into Axion without any of that
Is
stuff.
it like one of the first quests?
Yeah, after you do
It was
the
like,
Sigma
the
quest,
second or
it's straight
third
in
one
there.
in.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that's like Nexon had the expectation that we were going to be built going into there, but then they turned right around, and this is them not following through on certain things where they turn right around and send new players straight into Axion to do some stuff in there and a wall crasher with a basic bunny that has maybe 2 catalysts on it. Maybe they have a level 50 weapon and not much else to their inventory.
We were going to be
think-
built, but not the majority of people that were
Yeah,
returning to the game
exactly.
they were not going to be built.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then their experience-
My outlook on this game with like anything hard at this point is I don't care. I just like fun content.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like hard is
Excite
almost needs
me.
to just be like hard kind of just needs to be out the window for now until they can find fun. When they can
True.
find fun and you can bring in a player base, then that's when you can kind of start thinking about hard. But until you can cover the fun aspect, just forget everything else.
Yeah,
Just forget
The
then
about it.
reality is like the hard stuff isn't like most players are not gonna be getting to a point where they're deciding what core to put in their weapon or which external set to use, right? That's like the final 5% of your journey through TFD. And I think the big problem is that most players aren't making it there.
yeah. Then even with
No,
There is
I
also, there is also
Have you tried
there
to
was also-
get cores lately as a new player? You got to go farm Purge 10
yeah, Purge 10, rotating tail sets
Or
every
do the
day.
login event.
for
I mean,
days.
the login events give you some pretty decent cores nowadays. I mean, and
Yeah.
it's not level 2s anymore. They finally give you some 10s as
Yeah,
freebies, but
they give you 2 10s.
Yeah, but like 2, 3. Like how many rolls do we need? Like forget the 20% on the restored
Yeah,
relic, and you need
exactly.
actually
Yeah.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Like they need to implement the weapon core. Not on you can have like more quantity in purge, and then implement the core level 10 in 400% in like every activities pretty much. So the
Yeah, they
new
should be handing
player
those out
they
like
when
candy
they
at this point.
like the component core. Like the component core, what they made a component core, they implement like so
Yeah.
you get a couple there, but like do the same with the weapon core, and like if you want to farm like in more quantity, then you go to purge, and then you get gold also, and then like faster run also maybe like it depends on the map. Like there is things that they can do with the core, etc.
That's what they basically
But I
did with
think
the
also
external component ones. They did that with the
there-
external component
yeah.
ones, yeah.
This is that, and also there is a thing like I remember myself back in the day when I started the game, I didn't understand anything, etc. Even if the game wasn't babysitting me, etc. Like I was trying to look what I need to do before going to an activity. Like this is not just because I think like there is a game problem also, but there is also that people need to realize that there is also like the fact that you need to do stuff in order to like accomplish things. There is nothing that comes out of nowhere. Like, and I think people mainly are doing this, not all of the people. Like there is some people that also like prefer looking on their side, etc. They are far away from like YouTube and like Twitch, and like they just like playing the game on like 1 or 2 hours. But there is some people also that would look like some guide, some like build and stuff for like the highest content, the highest level content.
And imagine those players that can't get level 10 cores very quickly. Imagine they only get them through like their daily login events and stuff. And they start slowly building up like some core resources. Like
See you next
the
year.
Purge Challenge 1 through
Yeah.
5. Purge Challenge 1 through 5. Why? Like we talked about that earlier. Why is that not a weekly reward for those level 10 cores on there? Because those players who don't have those cores built up, instead of bashing their brains on level 10 or per challenge 5 or whatever it is over and over and over, they can like go through different stages and different levels and different enemies while still being rewarded at least once a week for that type of stuff. Because I mean, we all did the 1,000 purges. We all wanted to
Three.
slam our balls in the cupboard afterward. It wasn't fun.
You
Didn't
know
like
what?
it.
You know what, Zero? I'm gonna disagree with you there. I had a lot of fun. After I did the 1,000 in 3 days, I spent 2 more weeks doing nothing but Purge. The addiction kicked in then, because I did it when it was Purge 30, and it was only the same tile set. But I think it was just, you've done so much, you love it, and you want to keep going back. But I know what you mean. Most people won't even touch that middle now
you
because
were
they just
talking
don't
about
bother.
Stockholm syndrome before. You were
Yeah.
talking about Stockholm syndrome before. I think it's showing.
Same with
Least
Sigma.
addicted TFD player.
Bro, you don't even understand. The Purge addiction was insane. I'm like, it was so good.
I think a lot of players don't even interact with any of that challenge stuff.
Yeah, they don't. Most people
Yeah,
don't
they
give a
probably
shit
never
about
do.
medals. Most people
Because
give it.
I probably, I want to say I carried about 200 people.
Yeah.
The last Abyss Colossus and challenge, and
Yeah.
they would have never done it. Like
Yeah.
they would not have done it.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, it's interesting too because like once they get to the other side, a percentage of those players are now going to start grinding because they have the power to, right? So like, there's definitely like more of a gatekeeping thing going on with like the highest level of people that we don't really see too much of because we were here from the start, so we kind of already have that power built
Yeah,
up.
but it's not even anything great though. It's like
Yeah.
80 cores.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should be. It should be. It should be
any of those
accessible. I don't know.
cores?
At this point, I feel like everything should be just very accessible.
The 600
Yeah.
tickets is good
Yeah.
though. 600 tickets is good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about having retention and playtime problems, I feel like the first place to look would be look at all those limited things and make them less limited so you can actually do them once a week and play them more. And the problem with like building up some of these things too, if like new players or even like, moderate tier players, is you get everything set up for like a character or a weapon, and then they rework it. Now all of a sudden Bunny's a non-crit character, so you have to go look at your cores again, you have to go look at your thing again, you got to go change up your mutant cells again, right? So it's like even then, like when you have to go repeat it because they changed something, the grind then comes back to being a point of contention.
Yep.
And there's no intermediate. There's no building up to it. It's you either get carried until you have the power from that, or just bash your head against the wall until you have it. There's no like incremental growing of it.
There used to
And
be.
that's
Well, I think it would help them a
awesome
lot.
too.
It would help them a lot. And I think they also, like, one thing that they are starting to, I don't even know if they realized they did it, but I think there needs to be incentive for veteran players to do old things, because what happens with the new throwaway content that like you guys are talking about is when the veteran players are done with the throwaway part, the matchmaking gets worse because the pool of people that have finished characters and are clearing it easily start vanishing, and then you're left with the people that are less prepared, which means that those people are becoming less powerful slower, and it just keeps feeding itself. So veteran players need to have a reason to keep doing old stuff, because that is a big part of those matchmaking queues going well.
Honestly, like like lately, I was doing like some Ice Maiden carries for challenge because I know a lot of people doesn't do the challenge because it's like HP bags and like there is some of the things that are not detailed on the game, etc. to help them, etc. So I was doing this, and I kind of have the
Basically, 'cause it's
vibes
not
of
fun.
and I kind of have the vibes of like when I was doing this, but on Gluttony without the mechanics, sadly, and like that was good. But except that, yeah, I agree. There is nothing that motivates me except my own like
For the love of the game and helping people in it.
satisfaction, and like that's it. And like I know that people are
Just
happy
hanging out and
after they
helping
got their core, and like and also this, because also like I think most of us has the same thing, like there is not at the start, like there was people like there is no way there was one single stream where I run without anyone, a boss or an activity. Right now I feel like there is more there is more times when like who wanna join, and then there is less people like that want, because either it's boring or like
They can't be bothered.
whatever.
Did my audio go?
Did everybody just go silent at the same
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Or
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
confused. I was like,
alright.
huh? Did my audio just
We
go?
we were doing the dev stream trick, dude. The silence in,
Bro,
in
you
some
see
of
when they
those
look at the
moments.
ceiling?
It just went super silent, and they were just like staring at the wall, and it's just like, what are we? Why are we here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
You know what?
The silence was so loud.
This is cinema, bro. This is actually cinema. This is probably the fact that this has been better than the actual stream was so funny.
Well, I think
I
that
actually-
stream's a good example of sometimes just don't say anything.
Yeah, just shush. Wait till the next update and,
And
be like,
that
"Hi
was
guys."
like that was
Just
literally
end stream and get to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
just the perfect example.
How-
They could have
how-
waited
lot
a
of
couple
public
days
sentiment.
and prepared. I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that urgent. The needle of the game did not move because this information came out. The game literally
No.
just stayed the same.
All they had
No,
to do
I
is
think it
tweet
was
out. We're not.
necessary. I think it was necessary just for it was just necessary for like counter kind of the
EOS.
what
thing.
it been
The
said
EOS
about
stuff.
like in
Yeah.
order for saying like we are not going EOS, we are working
Yeah, that
on
was
the
the
game. But
Could've
that's
done
was
it.
the most
Stuff like
important
this.
thing. Just
Yeah.
quell
Stuff
the
like this.
rumors that it's shutting down tomorrow, and then that's all they really needed to do.
Bro, this could have
Yeah,
been
but
a
you could've just
5-minute dev
tweet-
note, you know.
Yeah, but you could have
Yeah.
just tweeted. You could have tweeted that and said,
That's what I
This
said.
could've
just
been
tweet
an
it.
email.
on
Yeah.
Thursday, we're revealing the roadmap for the next year. Blah 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 blah. Here's gameplay for this, and this. Right.
Mhm.
This
So
meeting could have
instead of doing some half-ass stream, you could have just took a couple days prepared and addressed the situation.
Yeah.
Somewhere
I
else.
do agree. I do agree with you. There could have been a better medium to convey that. Yeah, there's a lot of growing negative sentiment. No, we're not going EOS. We'll beat
Yeah.
you guys on April 14th or whatever it is for our next Dev Live.
Yeah. Scone is right again. The Q&A is a good idea, except whenever they do a Q&A, they literally never answer any good questions at all.
I don't know why they just don't take.
They don't
questions.
bother,
Please,
man.
like,
You know, is
beforehand.
Ultimate Haley coming?
Went silent for like 60 seconds straight reading chat, and then didn't answer any of the questions they read.
Yeah.
So
guys,
why are we silent reading chat if we're not gonna, like I remember the Q&A. It was like 5 minutes straight of Q&A where they're like silence for 60 seconds. Oh, there's a bug with Glay. We'll look into it. Silence for 60 seconds. Oh, there's a bug with chat. We'll look into it. Silence for, and it's like what?
You know what my favorite
guys
bit was?
remember-
Their
guys
Discord
remember-
Q&As were much more satisfying and much more, much better overall.
They were
because
were
actually
just
took
as
the time
bad.
to respond to a lot more.
They were just as
I think
bad.
their Tokyo Game Show dev stream was the best one they ever did because it was only an hour. It was pre-recorded. They were straight to the point quickly.
Yep.
And the Q&A was pre-screened questions that they
Yep.
already had and had answers to. And everything was
not shutting
boom,
down.
boom, boom,
And
straight to the
boom.
point.
Yep. My favorite bit of the entire dev stream now was the bit when they said, as for content in the endgame, we are developing endgame content, which we will show in the roadmap. That really hit home. I felt that one on a spiritual level.
It's
the
just
fact that,
buzzword
we are
after
not
buzzword,
showing the
but no
road-
follow through.
But they started swerving
not-
questions. You could see it.
We are not
Yeah,
showing the roadmap because we don't have the visual and stuff, but then like 5 minutes after showing the visual of like the new Descendant and the SGMO Ultimate.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
see?
think
That is so much.
if you watch the broadcast, someone knocked on the door and they all looked up, and then the director looked at his phone for like 3 minutes. I think
Yeah.
someone came by and was like, "Hey, I have assets that you can show on stream if you want." So
Yeah,
they
bro,
brought it up.
Then they even brought up the end screen, the one with the Serena in the new skin, Bunny, Glay, and all that. Bro, they're doing the end screen from Warframe or Destiny or whatever the hell it is. But the end screen looks cool. Nice showcase of your skin. That's exactly what we care about. I mean,
It's crazy that they couldn't throw together any visuals within
Yeah.
a 2-day
Yeah.
period. But us fat slobs sitting here streaming on Twitch can make
Yeah.
a thumbnail and a video in an hour.
an
Like,
I thought it
hour.
was so funny
An
that
hour is
for their for their marketing of the new mode, it's like look at Serena in a cocktail dress.
Yeah. And Sen,
I mean,
even
that
1 hour's
kinda-
pushing it, man.
That,
Takes 20
that
seconds.
works for me.
Yeah. It's cool.
Asked and answered.
Yeah. Honestly, I just.
I know a lot of people don't like Serena, but I see her as a very good asset to the game. In terms
She really
of,
is, yeah.
in terms
She's
of
amazing
her
because she gives
looks,
us the vertical space to
her
play with, and we
yeah,
don't have that for anybody else.
You're on your own
she's
with that one,
something
boss.
that they can. She's appealing to people when you look at her and you see somebody playing her on the game.
She is. She works, and I think thematically she's like the whole paladin thing with the mace and the wings and like the angelic aspect. Like she was a really good character, and I think they've had plenty of those. Like a lot of new. I think Nell was a slam dunk launch. I think Daya was a slam dunk launch. They've had like, yeah,
What-
dude. Like they just they know how to do it when they get it right.
Realistically, which character isn't a good look though? Bonnie looks like crazy. Freyna looks cool. Daya looks cool. Everyone looks. I mean, maybe not the males. Most people look cool. Even the males look cool if you don't know what the game's about and you don't know that they're probably tickling the mobs. Everyone looks cool. Visuals isn't a problem for this game. They've got the visual aspect down, maybe a bit too well, but they definitely should put an emphasis on it. I'd say.
And
Ines-
performance. I don't know
Ines
how
has
long
a
it
weird
takes you guys to load the game up when you first
True.
start it, but holy shit.
How long does it take you guys? It takes me about 40 seconds to load the game up. To get to like loading
Takes
screen to
me-
final in. In Albion's about a
I'll
minute,
go-
minute and
About
a
a
half.
minute.
Minute to get into Albion.
Since
I
the
adjusted.
season
I
3
adjusted to Lost Ark, so I'm very used to slow loads, man. Like it's
Okay.
fast for me.
I was gonna
Since
say,
this
I
is
bought,
Lost Ark,
I
you-
bought, I bought a new
Ark is
PC
like
to
10
play this game,
minutes.
so I load in pretty quickly.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, you know what you
Yeah.
guys can do? If you go into the
Since-
settings,
since-
you clear your cache, and then you go into your NVIDIA driver and just clear the shader cache, you'll load in like 30 seconds flat. It's so fast after you do that.
Do you guys
They
get that
made
thing where,
something-
like, when it loads the main splash screen and it says press to continue, it won't register a press for like 2 seconds?
Yep.
Yes.
Does that happen to you, where it's like it says
Yeah.
press but nothing
Unreal-
works?
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 5 moment. That's the best way
But
to
since
describe
also
it.
like the season 3, there was a problem in the game. Like there is a simple thing. There was a problem in the game. Season 3 is like if you play with someone in another region, like the person from the other region, if you are the host, would load late. And that was a problem since the season 3 launch. I don't know what they made to the net code or
They
whatever.
changed the
Yeah.
And
they
the-
changed the matchmaking, if you
Because-
remember.
Probably because of
They-
the War
they-
Crusher exploit.
They made it by they made it
Yeah,
like
they
by,
did it by region,
when
yeah.
with the party system. I think like there was an history like of like a story of like per region, like the ping, etc., etc. And I don't know what they made on this update, like this Thursday, like yesterday. They didn't announce anything. They touched something that made right now everyone loading at the same time in the instance.
I wonder if they reverted that what they did. Because
They,
that worked
wonder
then,
too.
right, when the player base was bigger, but that probably doesn't work now.
they
So
had to
It's
go.
possible. It's possible they reverted that.
They had to jump through hoops because of the Wall Crusher exploit, though. That messed with matchmaking a lot. Then, on top of that, even when it comes to matchmaking and connectivity and server stability, bro, have you, like, even Serena Kingsguardlands can lag people's games. Bunny Condensed can lag people's games and stuff like that. It's really annoying how, bro, we're still on Unreal Engine 5.2, and I think we're at, like, 5.7 now. 5.4 had massive lighting increases and much better performance increase. At this point, I have no idea why they're not bothering with an engine upgrade. They mentioned it a while back, but they've said literally nothing since, and it would help the performance of
don't
the
know-
game so much.
And they literally axed old consoles and did nothing with it.
Yep.
I
they-
don't know if it's I don't know if it's only client things or if it is a story of check rates server also, because I
Possibly
feel
that.
like because it feels like there is sometimes I think the games and the server can keep up with what is actually happening,
Yeah.
and like that cause like some trouble. Like even like if you look at your performance when you play the game, like you take an overlay, you put the performance, you will see that your GPU, CPU, and stuff will not run at 100%. Why? Because the information he has to treat like are not sufficient enough to like use the full of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's mainly because a story of like server check rate information or whatever how it's managed
Yeah.
that make this.
And it depends
Yeah,
on
so
how
I
the
was
game
I was in the
too.
bathroom, but I can answer some of the questions you guys had while I was listening. One, yeah, there is a big server versus client issue, and it started with characters like Inez and Freyna, right? When you have runaway
Yeah.
processes like Freyna's spread or Inez's bounces, and then the bounces creating secondary detonates and things like that, that can cause server lag, and so the server client connection gets unstable. And it's been kind of getting worse since then. But I think compared to most online games, aside from games like Warframe and stuff that do it really well, it's kind of in the area. And then to your guys' question as to why they would stay on an older Unreal, you have to remember that a lot of times developers will end up doing proprietary or script-based changes to an existing version, right? So like there are still games that
Okay,
run
makes
on
sense.
old Unity, or they're on like Unreal 4, Unreal 3. But if you're a developer, or like even look at like, for example, the Monster Hunter World was done on the like the ME framework, which is like 25 years old. It's just that by the time they get to that point, the engineers and the platform staff have basically started writing their own proprietary changes and scripts and additions that they've got it all working on that version. And then, you know, for the people that do software development, when you make a foundational change to something new, it usually will come with a long list of problems that then need to be re-troubleshooted, right? So it could be that they're on an older version of Unreal 5, but they have, you know, 30-40% of their branch of Unreal is unique and proprietary to them that they've developed specifically for TFD. So you can't always look at like the version on the outside of like this could be better or worse, because realistically changing that to a new version can end up causing a host of problems that would be even worse than the ones they have now, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense. And I was going to say, even with that, like, you get stuff in the game that fundamentally should be reworked with the way it works. Like Kingsguard Lance, it attacks spawns before the mobs have even spawned there. Same with High Voltage on Bunny. That literally will laser spawns before the mobs have even spawned. Stuff like that can cause a lot of issues. High Voltage wasn't really much of a problem, just because it can only hit 3 mobs at once. So, yeah, I get what you mean. That makes
So,
a lot more sense.
Dry Bear, why do you think they dropped old consoles?
Axion.
So well, that's part of it, but the longer answer is performance. So like the performance team will basically say these are the marks you need to hit, and if they're one, it simplifies the process of developing. If you don't have to worry about, you know, machines of X and below, it means they don't have to spend a
Let's
lot
say
of
you
time
didn't understand the
optimizing
thing.
it. It also
I
means
did.
that artists can start,
I've done
you know,
programming. I'm a
packaging up their
cybersecurity.
art for the
I'm a
assets they're making
cybersecurity
very
expert, by
easily
the
and
way.
cleanly. It just
I've got a degree
simplifies
in
the process.
cybersecurity and
you know,
forensics.
if you go in and say that 3% of our player base is on PlayStation 4 and the old Xbox, do you really want to, you know, put in all the extra time and effort with the team size you have trying to maintain those? Or do you just say, hey, maybe it's time you upgrade your 8-year-old PlayStation or whatever?
Yeah. Makes it easier that way.
I mean, me personally, I thought after like old consoles were dropped, this game would improve so much graphically, the way it runs, and I just feel like they have made no
No,
improvements.
I think
The funny
this
answer is it probably would get worse because now they're not looking at it as closely because they don't have as much of a bottom line anymore. It eases the pressure on them, you know?
You know
Yeah.
what we need? You know what we need? DLSS 5. That'll fix the game, bro.
Totally.
That's part of them
DLSS
not
5.
following through with things that they put in or that they talk about with the game, though, that they drop old consoles and stuff for performance of the game. Yeah, here we are. We still have performance issues. We still have major issues.
It's really not much different than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I think people forget a big failure to season 3 was the
The launch.
performance was bad.
It was horrible.
Oh my
People
God!
couldn't
When you blow
People
up
couldn't
a
even play the
dropship,
game.
Memory leak. It's still not fixed, by the way. It's still a problem. Have you played with Dyers in
So like
Axion as well?
you talk about retention, like all those people that came back and tried it out and literally just I can't play the game. Bye.
Yep.
It's something so simple.
Especially if you're on a console where there's really not much you can do. You know, on a PC you can troubleshoot and mess with drivers and play around and see if you can get it, especially if you're kind of used to that sort of thing. But if something crashes or breaks on your PlayStation Home or your Xbox or something, you're just gonna boot up a different game. Like there's no troubleshooting. It just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And they've still not
And I
fixed
think
it.
this is linked also.
Okay.
And I think this is linked also to the, like, I don't know, like I do remember in preseason playing with PlayStation 4 players, and we were going to do the outpost, and then we were like waiting for a moment for him to load because no SSD inside, and that would cause like a lot of problem on the loading for everything, the asset, etc. More so that you want to expand the game and the maps and the stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like there
It
is
just felt
like
bad. It just felt really bad that they cut all those players in the name of performance, and we don't see we don't perceive those performance boosts now.
my personal opinion, they should never release the game on PS4 first.
Yeah, they shouldn't have.
Yeah,
They
they
shouldn't have
probably should
bothered.
have never made that. Magnum's original contract, though, because was for those consoles, which made it a very tough situation for them.
Yeah, I'm assuming they were forced to. If you look at like the beta and alpha for this game, the game
Magnificent.
looks so
Amazing.
good
Mm-hmm.
graphically,
Yep.
and then we got what we got somehow.
Well, the alphas and betas up until like all the alphas and beta, there was one CC alpha, then there was like 2 betas. Those were PC only,
Yep.
and then we had the crossplay open beta, which was the first time consoles got their hands on it. That's when when they had to bring everything down. That was the point where it went from looking absolutely stunning and beautiful to okay, now Colossus arenas look very generic and bland, and the world is even more bland. Yet somehow Albion has more detail in it.
I feel like that's a marketing problem because they may have gotten overzealous and showed the game that way, and then when they gave it to the performance team, they're like, "Guys, this isn't going to work.
Yeah,
this isn't going to run. You're going to have to make it look worse." And then they're like, "Okay, well, here we go."
Then even on top of that, it's even worse because even yesterday they posted a picture of Beta Albion on their YouTube posts. The thing is, right, if they were to tie it into story, something like, I don't know, Wallcrasher destroys the Albion and the Descendants run away and the lounge wasn't a part of Albion, sorry, and they had to hide in the lounge until story bought them back and then they rebuilt the Albion as the beta one, that would be cool. But the lounge was a wasted opportunity and now we don't have Beta Albion, so what?
Also, one thing that I don't know is completely out of like thing, but that it reminded me by saying Albion, why like there is not another hub,
Yeah, it's
like
crazy,
in the
right?
game.
Yeah, literally.
Like why Action? Why there is not a hub in Action where we can meet like multiple people? Oh, I know why. Because like they can't put an instance with like too many people in the, and this was originally a map for playing, not for like hub and stuff. But
isn't that
like,
crazy?
I
A
don't know.
game like this doesn't have a second hub yet. Almost 2 years in.
I
Yeah.
know, dude.
But you know
I
what?
think it's
I'm
even
going to
bigger
go into
bullshit.
your
We
lounge
can't have
then.
8 people in Axiom.
Yep. They don't have that, but guess what? I'm gonna fucking infiltrate every single one of your lounges, and I'm gonna see what you get up to in your dirty time.
To be honest,
for the
like
weekly.
the amount of times I've had someone
Arena
run
is
by
on the
me in
bed.
Albion and say something weird, I don't know if I want to know what people are up to in Albion.
Yeah, bro.
You
The
know
amount.
they're booning like crazy when they run past you. They stop, they back up a little bit. You see their character like twitch a little, and they like move.
Yeah.
You just know.
I'm not
So
gonna. I
I've
mean,
had people- I've had people run
I
by.
do that all the time on stream, so
Bro.
I'm kind of guilty.
I've lost count the
I've
amount
had
of
people
times I've
run
been.
by and say, "Thanks, I just finished," and then run
Oh
away.
god.
Bro, the amount of times I've
Bro,
been
no.
assaulted in Albion, bro. I might as well call myself a victim, bro.
Pretty much. What are your guys' expectations for this this onslaught mode that we're betaing in 2
Defense
weeks?
mission with a turret.
Spec Ops, but worse. And haha, guys, look, it's a Colossi, and it's going to be ass.
Yeah, the
I
way they
wanna
described it
expand-
on the dev stream was 10 rounds. Every 3
Yeah.
rounds, you go to another
Change.
zone. There
Yeah.
are turrets that you can use, and the last round is a Colossus.
Yeah.
Special operation with the Colossus at the end. Now
Pretty
the only thing
much.
I'm expecting is like good rewards. That's it. Because I already know that after a couple of times, like I'm gonna be bored.
Do you know
I was
what the-
expecting a horde mod with infinite wave or like something like
Yeah.
this. I
Yeah.
get like the same fucking special operation,
Yeah,
but with the
literally.
Colossus at the end.
Build a turret.
Yeah. The
What about
worst
like
thing is that-
traps or barbed wire or like upgrades to my character or
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, they even mentioned as well that Onslaught was gonna be the infinite game mode or the endless game mode. I don't see what's endless about this, unless we like have
has
the
an
choice to
end.
like, unless
The
we have
number
the
of
choice
time
to
you're
like
gonna run.
rip. Maybe we, unless the best thing I can think of is we rip a core out of the Colossi and then we put that core into a little console and that opens a portal up to the next 3 waves or something. Maybe that, but this doesn't seem very infinite to me. Not from someone who's done literally 24-hour survivals in Warframe, sitting on Ivara's dash wire whilst fucking spamming shit with Nidus, Wisp, and Necros in my squad for 24
yeah.
hours straight. You don't. This is not infinite. This is very finite. This is very finite.
It's
Finite.
not.
It's
gonna
not
be,
even
it's not gonna
close.
be infinite.
Not even
Brings,
close.
bring back
Also,
the
the
old days
activity that
on
needed to
COD
hit hard
zombies.
that's not gonna hit hard.
God bless 7. COD Zombies was cinema.
Bring back these feelings where like you're doing waves and there is like secret or like mechanics to do and stuff like this that make like actual like the mod fun and like maybe challenging at some point after a certain numbers.
Yeah.
Like that's all I want.
Yeah.
I'd
I just
love to
posted the
see it go back to
roadmap.
the difficulty of the betas for those like Wave 21 defense missions, man.
Not even Wave 21.
Like I
what
know
was
we were underpowered back then, but damn, that felt so good to finish those.
Wasn't it? Didn't Spec Ops have 30 waves on release, bro? By the time like you were at wave 28,
Yeah,
it'd be nothing
I
but
think-
elite spawning. It was so good.
Yeah.
The betas
And
were
like you had
different. They had
multiple and you
intervals
had
like
multiple
every
buffs.
weird 7.
You had multiple buffs. All of them were shielded. They all had shield bubbles. It was nothing but elites. Oh, you're fighting for your life with the 3 other bunnies in your lobby. It was fun, genuinely. And they got rid of it because I don't know. I couldn't tell you why.
Dude, if the only thing there is a turret, I might geek out.
What's wrong, Sen?
Like,
do you
there's
not
no
do you not
way
like
this
putting
whole
a tur-
time the only thing you've come up with is a fucking turret.
Bro, and the fact that they were like so proudly just showed like a 3D render
turret,
of their
the
turret.
one turret.
Oh yeah.
Guys, remember.
still going to be better than Paper's entire kit.
Guys, remember we have a descendant that can spawn turrets. He's called Jaber, but he also got replaced by the King Godlands because of Serena. So
And then
Pretty
I-
much just,
game
it's
mode.
just portable Jaber, yeah.
yeah, we got Jaber on a budget. I guarantee you, we're probably going to be able to like pick the turrets up and use it as a weapon as well. Because the
Yeah, I
Axiom-
wonder
when
what
was
they're
the
gonna
last
do
ti-
with it.
When was the last time any of you went into Axion, you broke the glass on the thing and used the Axion turret or weapon? Because I guarantee you,
I would if they were
you probably
stronger.
forgot it existed. It's not stronger, it's weaker. Exterminator's better.
It's really weak.
It's-
Yeah, I
it's
mean, like
weak as shit.
literally,
Yeah,
just
but
no point.
they've done that with every time they introduce any of those weapons, they're trash.
They're
There's the
shit.
one in
Nobody
Sigma.
uses them. Yeah.
yeah, Sigma has the little shotgun thing that shoots in a line.
Yeah, us. Why would you bother? Especially with X cores in the game.
man.
Yeah, they should just make them. Well, I mean, I get the idea of like, well, if they're so strong, you don't need to use a build, but also if they're so weak that no one likes
Real
using
battle.
them, then that's also a problem.
Yeah.
There, I want to mention something because like I see like you put the roadmap. I've seen like 3 times external component. I haven't seen any single new external component.
Yeah, they were meant to come this time around as well, I'm pretty sure. And this is the
I think
thing,
they keep I think they keep nixing them.
Yeah, external components for specific descendants is a stupid thing as well. We've got the generalized sets. If you make specialist sets, that's fine, but like it's just stupid in the long run because when it comes to you get this set for your descendant or you get these 5 or 6 sets for everyone, and then you get your 3 specific sets for everyone, or like the 3 specific hyper specific sets like Plague for Freyna and Keelan and the Hazmat for Harris, then it's like what? It's so stupid.
Yeah, but they're doing that with everything. Trigger mod, the
Trigger
mod
mods
comes
as
with
well,
a
yeah.
matching ultimate mod. It's
Yeah.
like
It's
Sound like a really bad idea every time. Like I see the possibilities on Descendant and stuff, and like you see that there is like trigger mode that you look at the possibilities on your Descendant, it say that okay, I can use it. Oh, but no, because for example, like Ines that can use like tactical, I don't know what's the name, like, but I don't have a supply on top of this because it's need like 2 type of like thing. So it is like specifically targeted to Enzo, and that's it.
Yep, cooked.
I disagree. I think it's fine. Like, you know, it's just more things to farm, more things to do. There are a lot of games like, you know, if we use the gotcha game example, most gotcha games do exactly that. They will create a problem and sell you the solution, and they'll also do very targeted, like this is only for one character, and that's just to get you to do the new thing, which I think inherently it's not super problematic. It's only problematic if it's like that's all they're doing, or they do it every 3 months, right? If it's every 3 months and you get a new external component set that only works for Freyna, then all of a sudden, again, it's just they're creating problems that normally wouldn't be problems if they released stuff faster with more interest. Like they just need more intrigue.
My biggest gripe with it is that it's never the best either. If they made a set that was so clearly the best for that descendant, then fine. But if I look at, for example, the sprinter set that came out for Bunny recently, I look at this, I'm like, okay, cool, but a mutant cell can do almost the exact same thing. And why would I sacrifice my cooldown? Especially when for Bunny, cooldown is spam is damage. So if it was the best in slot, then maybe it's better. But in this instance, it doesn't make sense. So it's just like a stupid thing, if you ask me.
What do you guys think is a good cadence for new red mods?
Define new red mods. The new they're transcendent
The
mods.
mods that change like they fundamentally change a playstyle for a descendant in some way.
The top left slot.
Well, like for an example, right? Like if you had a choice of one new descendant every 3 months, but they released, you know, like tons of new red mods. Like how does that fare for you in being like interesting for the game? If you call, like, you know, if descendants went up to, let's say, 10 red mods or 12 red mods, right? Like at a certain point, you're going to get a ton of play styles for characters. Like, what's your vibe check on red mods being gameplay?
Every descendant already
has. I'm good.
Every descendant already has several playstyles. New descendant would be better. Because you can make every descendant do everything already. Like, there's literally nothing they can't already do. A ton of new red mods.
I think more so. I kind of get what he say. Like it's more like bringing more like way to play. For example, let's say Ines. Like you know Ines as she is right now. What if like there is a new transcendent mod that changed the playstyle or that adds something or change 2 or 3 abilities completely that made her still electric, still doing like conductor effect and stuff like this, but like that changed the way she's played, like spammy. Like she's kind of spammy at the moment. And honestly, like a new transcendent mod that changed like the thing, I would say if it is like across all descendant of every month you release one.
Maybe. Because the way I look at that as well is if we had this, then it would give players more reason to invest more catalysts in descendants. So it'd be a better reason for you to 60 cat. Because for me, let's say any new transcendent mod come out for any descendant, I can already just use the combine feature with the 10,000 mods that I have and get the new mod instantly and just make the build immediately because I've got everything already in order for me to test.
Yeah, but that's a new way to play the descendant. Like I'm not. It's not like less boring, but like a little bit because like you rediscover kind of the descendant, but like not. It stayed the same. It keep the DNA like of it.
It could be interesting, but I think it massively comes down to how they handle it. Because, like you said, you can create something that just goes completely against the character. Like Cold Heart for Haley was something I think was really, really dumb. Camo sniping was really much better, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, at least.
It's good, but does it move the needle on the game? No, definitely not.
Yeah, that's kind of like my thought process, right? Like if we take their process for creating characters as a given, let's say that it takes them 6 to 8 months to make a new character, right? Like, you know, what if they switch to a strategy of, hey, we do 2 new characters a year, but we're adding tons of new red mods for the existing characters? Because that, you know, it is an indirect way, and some of them do require, like, you know, visual effects changes if it creates a new AoE or ability or whatever. But like, if they decided that, hey, we can't wiggle on how fast it takes for us to make new characters, you know, could they just ramp up a ton of new red mods and let that be the strategy?
Yeah, maybe.
I'd rather just see at that point. I'd rather just tell them here's content. I'd rather just have them say here's content. Here's
I would
stuff to
say
do.
it's good for having like on it like I see it like once in a month, but like it doesn't it can't be the main content of the month.
Yeah, I think it's similar to like a Thunder Cage buff or a Sharon buff. Unless you're diehard TFD player, you don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, pretty much. We're obligated to check everything out for the sake of helping other people, anyways. But for most people, for John who came back because he heard that his Haley got a rework and the Thunder Cage got a rework, I don't think he's gonna care about the Thunder Cage, for the most part. Unless it becomes a new broken meta or whatever, then most players don't care.
I mean, it depends because we all start with the Thunder Cage, so the Thunder Cage has a rework has a different impact than like I don't know whatever like the
Peacemaker.
Deadly Arson rework,
The deadly
for example.
asshole.
Like
Lol.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
in new player experiences, that kind of stuff is fine because yeah, they will get that right away. But I
Mhm.
mean, if you don't have the content to run it in, I mean,
Agree,
new
Scott.
players are going to find everything to be his content. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you get a new toy and you want to fuck with it, where are you going to go do it? And the new content is where you would normally go do it in most games that release stuff, like for Folly, for Warframe. Like you're going to go mess around in that, whether you like it or not, to get stuff that's in there.
Oh yeah,
And-
the
Perfect
hardest
example.
first. Hardest mode.
Perfect example. Valby when Gluttony.
Yep. New mod
Valby comes
specifically
out
for
with
that.
a red mod that made her like really helpful in there for the mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That would be really cool too if there were more mechanics and things in the game that some descendants would lend themselves better to. You know what I mean? Like Valby's bubble bullet thing going through the air and collecting all those orbs towards Gluttony. Like not making it because it wasn't a requirement to beat Gluttony. Did it make it easier? Did it change the way you played the fight a little bit? Yeah, it did, and it was
Yes.
pretty darn cool. But it wasn't
Yeah, but
required.
then
for it, right?
Timmy won't be able to complete it, so it's not gonna
Yeah.
I
happen.
know, like it's such bullshit. And no matter how much you try, they've already convinced themselves of that. So it doesn't matter what you say either. Like you can't convince them otherwise.
Guys, it doesn't matter.
Well, to
anything
Sen's
that we
point too,
say.
it matters. It only really matters if it comes out at the same time, right? Like, if you're going to create that, it needs to coincide, not come out 3 months later after the boss is
Yeah,
already
it's got to be
beaten.
relevant, right? It's got to be relevant.
Mm-hmm. Then
Yeah.
even with that, a lot of the
Match
things
it.
that we say probably don't matter as much as we'd like them to, anyways. Because unless you've got links in Nexon, then they'll probably check out what we're doing, and I'm sure they'll probably see what we're talking about now to an extent. But they're very much stuck in their own ways, and as much as we want the game to be doing better, they won't listen to us as much as they should, realizing we've got the best interest at heart, because we don't have very bad setups and we don't use Reddit. I don't know about you guys, but you know what I mean.
Well, it's hard. It's hard for us to make a meaningful vote and impact on the game because you don't buy the content in the game. You buy like the cosmetics and skins and stuff. So it's really hard for
It doesn't.
them to see our data.
It doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, we're all content creator. We all face the community every day, and then they should have a link toward the people that are like kind of
Helping.
the person that will help the new players when they come on
I
social
mean, they
media
have
such as
they
YouTube and stuff.
they created a Discord section in their Discord for
Yeah,
content
Look at the
creators.
channel. Look
and
at the
there's-
channel.
I
Bro-
can't. I left, but
You-
there when I was in there, it was
Don't
literally
worry,
it was literally locked down, and you can't even speak.
Sen,
Well, it was
Even
built as
between
a
us,
two-way.
even between
it was
us, we
built
can
up-
do things.
The mods
built-
and for that Discord. First of all, that Discord disgusts me. That's why I left. But the mods in there have more power than any content creator that will ever join that Discord. And
And that,
that's part of the reason I left, besides the fact that the mods are useless humans, and basically me and Biscuit were being like harassed for posting our builds in there by a guy.
What?
Yeah,
That's
and I messaged the
insane.
mod. I still have the message. I messaged the mod, and he
That's
just completely
insane.
ignored me. He's never responded to me.
That's
Not to
insane,
mention
you
that
know?
whole Discord channel that they made for us was supposed to be a two-way street. That's how it was built out. And when they talked about it, it was supposed to be a two-way street where we could communicate with them back and forth. It wasn't we have to sit on a shelf and just take what's fed to us once every
Yeah, we
6
can't
months.
talk to anyone. Do you know what the funniest thing is? If you look at the Nexon creators website for TFD specifically, there's 9,100 creators. Bro, there's not even 9,000 people playing the fucking game. There's not even 9,000 people playing the game. There's more creators
I don't know why
than
they
people
can't
that play the
put
game.
together a proper creative program.
They,
With
they
the
also
people that
stopped
are
doing the whole
actually doing it.
TFD Q&A thing. Like, you remember when they used to do the Q&A with the posted
That's-
answers in Discord?
That's
Yeah.
for the better, bro. There's never, ever been a single good Q&A. At the end of every
It's
dev
almost
stream,
like-
there's never been a good one either.
It's almost like I used to push for them to get a community manager so hard way back when, but it's almost
Mhm.
like ever since we got the community manager, things have gone
It's gone worse.
backwards. yeah, like there's actually less communication than
Yeah.
prior.
God bless Jason. All of my homies love Jason.
No, but like this is true also. Like they need to like aside of like all the content and stuff. Like you have content creator and like you can't be that silly and like put
You
them on the
can't
side.
ignore
like,
them. You can't ignore them.
Yeah,
Bro,
like
they
it's-
ignored
it's-
Sen
it's
for the
kinda
first
feel like-
anniversary.
Yeah, like this, like those kind of thing. There was certain people that wasn't there. Like there was certain people that wasn't there, like for the playtest also. The only playtest David made on the game, like, and also because like there is like things that happen on the playtest, and I know for a fact that the playtest they made on like San Francisco and like New York and Korea, like the place, it's a specific build with a specific setup, and you can't change anything or tweak anything or like try anything. It's
Yeah.
basically an activity, a build, and then stuff, and that's it. So basically, if there is any problem to this, you won't have an efficient feedback that would give you, okay, this is broken. This is really too much stronger. Like this is really too much strong. Like or thing like this, because apparently you can't like do things that you want.
Well, I think
Yeah, you
those
can't-
I think those in-person ones are more of like a casual
Yeah.
perspective, right?
Those are the focus
The
group
seven
tests
guys
that you're
so
talking
smart.
about.
It's
right?
not like it looks
I
funny.
wasn't involved in the season 3. I don't really know what they had access to.
No,
The
but
season-
even
the season 3
even
one, I
the
wasn't in either.
playtest, like the. Yeah, me too.
You know what those are for? Those focus group tests aren't for like veteran players and stuff like that. It's for bringing new players in, and what
Yeah, I
and
think
they fill out like a survey or a feedback form after they're done, saying like, well, what did you like about this? What would make you want to play this more? And things like that.
Serena Lux firepower.
Yeah,
make
but
her
on
stronger,
top of
please.
this, you can't have just like this. You can't have just this as a test.
I know.
Like this
yeah,
is more what I'm saying.
absolutely,
Like you need to have like actual like players
You
of
need
the
a
game,
PPR.
veterans and stuff that play the game quite a lot, or like at least a little bit, that understand
Yeah,
and
for
let
sure.
them try the new
E-
content
e-
completely at the max potential.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
with the season 3, like I don't think I wasn't part of it, so I don't know. But from what I could see outside looking in, like they got to try Wall Crasher, but they had to do
Yeah.
it solo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you find something in an 8-man activity when you have to do it solo? I guess for them it was more like a demo and like use it as promotion instead of people actually coming in and trying things out. Because I can guarantee
feels-
if you put a bunch of us in there, we would have already figured out like, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, like we're going to kill Wall Crusher in 20 seconds within 4 days.
Yeah. Or even with that, Sen, from my understanding, is they had a test server, and then they gave people like, you know, they signed the NDAs and stuff. Then they gave them access to it, but then people were playing in their own time. So, you know, it wasn't a coordinated thing or whatever. It was person 1, 2, 3, and 4 had access, and they could jump on and off whenever. They could have done Wall Crasher like together and stuff like that, but if I get slammed in a room with, let's say, Zero, for example, no hatred or anything, I don't talk to Zero just on a day-to-day basis. So I'm not just gonna suddenly message Zero saying, "Hi, do you want to run Wall Crasher?" It's stupid. They should have set it up so that they played at the same time, so they could have tested more stuff. But
Well, you know what you know how you do that very easily. You have a
Yep.
Discord with all the content creators in it that can
Yeah.
talk.
Crazy idea, right? Crazy idea. Crazy idea.
Yeah, that's wild.
Crazy. Nah, bro. The Discord with content creator. Bro, this chat has more content creator communication in the last 2 fucking hours than the entire Discord ever has. I've never spoken to Dry Bear like that. To Seven, I live inside of his walls, and I've not spoken to Zero like that. And I hang out with you in your streams once in a while, or I lurk in there. And in the last 3 hours, I've spoken to you more than I ever have in the past year. It's so funny.
Like, and aside having like link and like discussion together and etc., it's more so like we can actually full create content and having the full potential of it, and
Yeah.
also getting less bullshit at the update release. Because
Yeah,
how
I
many
wonder-
mistakes
yeah.
there is every update, and this could have been fixed. This could have been fixed before the content release, just by being tested by actual person behind the fucking thing. Like, I don't know. Like, there is bugs there is in the game that I would tell them within 5 or 10 minutes. This is broken.
Yeah.
This is broken.
Yeah.
This is broken.
Yeah.
Like, and I think most of us would do. Like, okay, like what I observed, like what I've seen during my test. This was like broken. This didn't work. This was like doing abnormal damage or whatever. Like, we all like could make an efficient, like, or at least we couldn't pass on everything, but like most of it.
Most of it, yeah, for sure. And even with
And-
this,
Yeah.
sorry, continue, Seven.
And like for the balance and stuff, like that would maybe avoid the Serena situation. Because that was
Maybe.
not like playtest, it was season 2, episode 2, I think. Or
Yeah,
3,
episode 3.
or 3?
Episode 3.
Season 2 episode. I don't remember,
Two-
but like if a playtest had been made for this update, for example, by content creator and not like the focus group test, because there was a focus group test, and that would avoid like this whole situation for the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they had any idea that
No, they didn't.
It
Bro,
felt
the
like a lot
focus
of the
group test
testing was
probably
like
don't.
that
was
Serena
like friends.
could do
It was like
that.
friends and family, or like sometimes studios will like go to local high schools or colleges and grab a group of students that are free and kind of have them come play. But yeah, I think I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things they could have. Like, I feel like if anyone tested the new Glay, they would have very easily said that it was a problem. Or also, like, the when they said that they tested Keelan and everyone loved him, and then he came out and he was doing like 1/10 of the damage of every other descendant. It's like
Yeah,
you have to wonder, like, who
Alright,
played
don't
it and
get me-
said it was great.
Yeah.
Don't get me
they
started
on that.
They nerfed the shit
Oh
out
my
of it.
god.
Then
But
even
this
on
is
top
not
of
the
that-
same thing, and I know they throw like numbers away like crazy because they came with the argument like, oh, Glay is outperforming 10%. Okay, outperforming 10% of what? As expected. Okay, what did they nerf? They nerf 30% of the damage. They nerf the through the wall things, which is good. Like, this is actual, like, that was necessary. You've done it for Ines, so that firstly that shouldn't be like a thing, but whatever. Like, mistake. But like, you nerf the damage by 30% and you come with the 10% at the start.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what the thing
Like-
is as well? If you were to ask any people in the community, right? If I ask my chat here right now, who is the most competent Glay player you know? Everyone, myself included, are going to point out 7. If you think that the devs can't figure out that 7 is probably one of the best Glay players, even if they look at the leaderboard, or even if they look at YouTube or anything, they'll know that it's 7. I'd hope that if people ask about Serena, everyone's going to point fingers at Sen straight away. Or if you ask about Bunny, I'd hope people point fingers at me, for example. And for the devs to know this and literally just message 7 in the Discord, or even send a notice to him in game or anything, it would have taken them probably like 20 or 30 seconds. It's simple.
Make me sign an NDA. Like, don't pay me, don't do anything. I don't care. I like the game. I want the game to do good. Just make
Exactly.
the efficient, like, playtest.
Please use my free labor, please.
Look,
Yeah.
bro,
So
at this
we don't
point,
have-
I'm begging them to use me. As bad as it sounds, I would rather them use me and abuse me, because I'm already getting abused when I see a dev stream every month.
God damn.
But
Then
like,
on
this
top
is
of
for
that,
real. Like,
right,
we
all
all
free
want the
labor.
game to do good.
We're all free labor.
Like, this is, and who played video game before and see like some other content creator participating on early playtest, etc., coming with a badass video, etc. And now this is you. Like, I don't care being paid, and I don't just want the game to be good and do well. That's it.
Exactly.
And not having like this kind of bullshit we're dealing with like for a year and a half. But
Yeah.
that's it. Like, of course, like there is many things that they can do. They have the possibilities, and I think like there is a lot of like content creator that would like to do this and stuff like, but they seems to like wanting to stay on their side, and
Yeah.
like once in a while communicate with the community by dev stream and quick Q&A that are not really good.
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason why you don't see a lot of content creators, and it's because
They don't
They-
get treated well.
they don't do anything to
Mhm.
Well, they're
make
they're
people
content creator
make people
programs,
want to be a
but-
content creator.
Yeah.
I look at Diablo and I see this dude who makes Diablo content. He's literally at Blizzard Studio. They're in a fucking sick ass room. He's interviewing the dev. They got a giant Lilith statue. I go to this game, Where Winds Meet. They flew out like 6 different guys to China to meet with the devs and to be in their
We are
dev
far from
stream.
it, huh?
Like these
I'd
games
pay to
are
go meet
doing
Jason.
things.
I paid to go meet Jason. I don't care about anyone else. I just want to take a picture with Jason so I can make him a profile picture and everything.
Dude, I go to Korea in a second, and I know in terms of making money, it wouldn't make me any extra money.
It'd be
But
fucking
it would
worth
be
it.
cool
Experience. It'd
to
be
go
cool.
do it. Yeah, experience it, and actually possibly put some input in on the game.
Another thing is that there's a lot of people that are watching all of our streams combined on Twitch right now. Us
Personally,
three,
I'm
us
really
three are the top 3
satisfied
most
with
viewed right now.
establishing-
Me, Sen, and Drybear are the top 3 on Twitch. Even on YouTube, I've got 120 plus people watching as well. There's people on all of our sides that are enjoying this, and they're more tuned into the content creators. Between us, we probably have almost the same viewership as that stream did, and that should tell you everything. The community cares or listens towards the content creators, and there's a reason that we built up our reputations. We worked on the game, we tested, we did all the lab work and all of that. Some more than others, obviously, because we all do different things. But we all have the same goal at the end of the day, right? And make content, make the game good. And I have absolutely no idea why
Personally,
we
I'm
kind of
really
get treated like this.
satisfied with
Me, I
establishing-
understand. I asked them to nerf Serena on the first anniversary, so I can understand if they hate me. But I don't see a reason for them to have a problem with Seven. I don't see a reason for them to have a problem with Drybear, with Sen, with whoever. It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't.
Listen, the Luna Toe guy got through. We got to be
Oh
able to
my
get through
God.
too.
He got through. He got through faster than anyone else. The thing is, if they didn't fix her toes, it would have been bad publicity on them anyways. But it's still horrible. It's so bad, guys. We
Yeah.
lost to a dude who cares about toes. He's probably
Well, the
somewhere
director,
jerking his
director
shit
obviously
every day.
likes toes too.
Yeah, he
so I
does.
think they're speaking the same language.
Luna's tour guy is a legend. Bro, Luna tour guy is the reason I became the laughing group of my fucking friends, bro. Because they were like, is this your game, bro? And sent them fucking clip of it, man. It wasn't nice. It was cooked. It was horrible.
One more thing. So on Luna's recent
Stop redeeming the
was the
Luna's
something,
tour
toenails are painted
No,
black.
that-
blur.
Toenails are not painted. So on Luna's recent swimsuit skin, her fingernails.
All
are
right,
painted
boys.
black.
I'm gonna go
Her
shoot the
toenails-
show in my
toenails
chat
are-
and maybe
No worries,
play
son.
Diablo later or something.
Quick question, guys. Sorry, before we
Yeah.
all go, are you guys good with me clipping this and uploading it as just like a creator talk, and then I'll tag you all guys in it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't
P-
care.
Perfect. All right, thank you guys. Have a good one,
It's been a
son.
pleasure. It's been nice meeting some of you
Peace,
guys as well. We should do more of these.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
For
Yeah,
sure.
no
Take care.
problem.
Take care.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Moxie.
absolutely.
Even though you're not
Yeah.
here.
Moxie, thank you. God bless.
Bye, Moxie.
Bye bye. Peace out.
Bye. Have a good
Have a
one,
good one,
everyone.
everyone. Night nights.
You guys, what do you think of that? Do you want more of that? I think that was cinema, I think that was actually cinema. That was 3 hours. That was 3 hours of us talking about that shit. And you know what? After my crash out before, I needed that. Get Henri next time. I messaged Henri. She's probably busy. I know I should have gone to sleep, but honestly, this is a W. Bro, I got 278 subs this stream. Can we push that to 300? Actually, that's probably me being a cunt. I probably sound ungrateful. I'm really grateful for everything in today's stream, guys. It's been a long one. I'm gonna clip this now and upload all of it. And I'm not gonna make a video talking I should make a video talking about it. Should I make a video on the thingy? On the dev stream? I mean, it wasn't really much, but yeah. You should do it? I guess I could. I mean, to be fair, I've got my notes, so yeah. You could, yeah. Bro, I was so pissed off. You guys, if you weren't here when I crashed out, go back and watch the VOD and watch. Bro, I was in fucking tears, bro. I was laughing and crying at the same time because I was so fucking angry. You don't understand how mad I was. Ah, man. Alyssa, I must suggest something to you. Yeah, go for it, go for it. Alright, thank you guys for watching. This was the VOD, or the long ass talk between me, Moxie, Sen, Dry Bear, 7, and 0. Yeah, okay, peak.